And I would require one person to keep the time, 4 minutes for every speaker, please. Who will be the timekeeper for me?
Sir, I will be.
Oh, okay, thank you, please.
Yes.
So is my screen visible to all?
Just let me see. I'm just going on that YouTube part. So I would request someone else to answer your query, please.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, okay. Thank you. So let's start. So today, the topic that I have choose is the audit and auditors, presented by me, Sumit Pathare. So first of all, we will talk about the auditor. So mainly auditor hota kaun hai? So auditor is a person who is authorized to review and verify the accuracy of financial records. So जिसको authority होती है कि जो अपने financial records की accuracy को check करता है, and auditor also ensure that the company should comply all the specified laws. So is the auditor. Next, we will move on to the appointment of auditor, which is given under section 139 subsection 1, which state that any appointment of the auditor takes place in first AGM, that is annual general meeting, whether he is an individual or the audit firm. See, the auditor who is appointed shall hold the office from the conclusion of first AGM till the conclusion of sixth AGM. And before appointment, कोई भी auditor को हम appoint करते हैं ना, so before appointment written consent लेना बहुत जरूरी है from the prescribed auditor as per the condition prescribed. So condition कहाँ पर दी गई है? So condition is given under the audit and auditor rules 2014. Now we will move on to procedure for selection and appointment of auditor. Yes, sir.
Continue. No problem.
Yes. So now, as per the company's audit and auditor rule, what are the procedures with regard to selection and appointment? So board or audit committee, any company who is required to conduct audit committee, so audit committee करेगी या फिर otherwise board क्या करेंगे? They shall consider the qualification and experience of the individual or the audit firm who is considered for the appointment. Then they will also check that कि उसके खिलाफ कोई पेंडिंग्स तो नहीं है रिलेटेड टू प्रोफेशनल मैटर्स बिफोर ICI, या मतलब वो किसी भी केस या फिर इसमें उसका कुछ हाथ तो नहीं है, और अगर वो चाहे तो कुछ अदर इंफॉर्मेशन भी उस ऑडिटर से ले सकते हैं. देन इफ द ऑडिट कमिटी इज रिक्वायर्ड टू कंस्टिट्यूट, देन ऑडिट कमिटी विल रिकमेंड द नेम ऑफ द इंडिविजुअल और द फर्म, किसको? टू द बोर्ड. और अगर ऑडिट कमिटी रिक्वायर्ड नहीं है, इफ द ऑडिट कमिटी इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड, then the board will recommend the name of the individual or the audit firm, as the case may be, to the member in the AGM for the appointment. Now we will see that अगर audit committee ने उसका recommendation दिया है, so board के पास दो option है, board can agree or board can disagree. If board agrees with the recommendation given by the audit committee, so वो further आगे recommendation किसको करेगा? members को करेगा in AGM. और अगर बोर्ड डिसएग्री है, देन बोर्ड विल रेफर बैक द रिकमेंडेशन टू द ऑडिट कमिटी फॉर रिकंसिडरेशन अलोंग विथ वैलिड रीजन, कि हमने आपको क्यों डिसएग्री किया है, ये सब रीजंस बोर्ड देगा किसको? ऑडिट कमिटी को. अदरवाइज एग्री होता है तो फिर मेंबर्स को आगे फॉरवर्ड करेगा. देन अभी आफ्टर ऑल अगर एक बार अपॉइंटमेंट हो गया ऑडिटर का, अभी कंपनी का क्या रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है? सो फर्स्ट कंपनी को इन्फॉर्म करना होता है कंसर्न्ड ऑडिटर को. सो द कंपनी शुड इन्फॉर्म द कंसर्न्ड ऑडिटर अबाउट हिज अपॉइंटमेंट, एंड आल्सो कंपनी शुड फाइल अ नोटिस विद रजिस्ट्रार, किसके अंदर? इन फॉर्म नंबर ADT 1 विद इन 15 डेज. और ये 15 डेज कहाँ तक? सो दिस 15 डेज इज फ्रॉम द डेट इन विच द मीटिंग इज हेल्ड, मतलब जहां पर मीटिंग हुई थी रिगार्डिंग द अपॉइंटमेंट. सो इस चीज में नाउ वी विल सी द टर्म, मतलब एक बार ऑडिटर अपॉइंट हो गया, सो नाउ व्हाट इज हिज टेन्योर, मतलब वो कितने पीरियड तक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में काम करेगा. सो अगर हम इंडिविजुअल ऑडिटर की बात करें, सो इंडिविजुअल ऑडिटर इज कंसर्न फॉर वन टर्म विच इज ऑफ 5 कंसेक्यूटिव ईयर्स, मतलब एक इंडिविजुअल ऑडिटर 5 साल तक एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में रह सकता है. और अगर हम ऑडिट फर्म की बात करें, सो ऑडिट फर्म इज फॉर 2 terms, that is of 5 consecutive years. It means 5 plus 5, 10 years. Yes. So okay. Thank you for your attention. That's all.
Thank you, Sumit. And may I call now Mr. Abhishek? Abhishek, are you there? Abhishek,
Yes, sir. Yes.
please.
Just Sumit, screen share off.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, my dear friend. Well done.
Sir, my screen is visible.
No, not yet. I would
Yes.
like Sumit to just
Yes, yes. Visible. Go on.
go on.
Yes, sir. So, hello everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Abhishek Sunil Kumar Jetlia, and my topic is a redemption of preference shares. So, in this project, we are going to see a meaning of preference share, a redemption of important provision related to redemption of preference share and a condition and their accounting treatments. So what is a preference share? Preference share are those shares which carry a preferential right as to the dividend and a return of capital at the time of liquidation of the company. Preference shareholder gets holder gets a dividend at a fixed rate which will be decided at the time of the issue of shares. Now, the important provisions regarding to a redemption of preference share are what is redemption of preference share. Redemption of preference share means a repayment of preference share. The preference share generally issued up to a period, maximum period of 20 years, but only a finance infrastructure company can issue a preference share only up to 30 years. But from the 21st year, the company shall redeem at least 10% of such preference shares. Uh, the following are the conditions for the redemption of preference share. A company can redeem a preference share only if it is a fully paid. If it is not a fully paid, then it must be made a fully paid. The company can redeem a preference share out of a distributor profit or from proceed of fresh issue of shares. And the premium payable on redemption shall be provided from the securities premium account or the profits of the company. When the preference share are redeemed out of profit, an amount which is equal to the nominal value shall be transferred to a CRR, and it can be used. It can also be used for issue of fully paid bonus shares. The following are the sources for the redemption of preference share. The company can redeem from proceeds of fresh issue of share or a capitalization of an undistributed profit or a combination of both. Yes. The following are the accounting entries for the redemption of preference share. When the new shares are issued at a par, then the bank account debit to share capital account. When new shares are issued at a premium, then bank account debit to share capital account to securities premium account. When preference shares are redeemed at a par, then a redeemable preference share capital account debit to preference share holder account. And if it is redeemed at a premium, then a redeemable preference share capital account debit, premium on redemption of preference share account debit to preference shareholders account. When a payment is made to a preference shareholder, then the preference shareholder account shall be debited and bank account shall be credited. And for the adjustment of premium on redemption, then P&L account debit to premium on redemption of preference share account. And that's it for this topic. And thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, my dear friend. Okay. I would like to ask Krishna if he's there. Krishna, are you there? Or else Tanishi may start.
Sir, Krishna is there.
Okay, Krishna. Are you ready, my dear sir? Okay, Tanishi, are you ready?
हेलो
Hello. Yes, please.
हेलो सर
Hello. Are you ready?
सर नेटवर्क इशू है मैं 5-10 मिनट बाद प्रेजेंटेशन दूंगा रोल नंबर 1 है सर मेरा
Okay. Tanishi, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead. Okay, Mitali, get ready after Tanishi. And I request everybody to be ready because we are very falling short of time and 50 speakers need to speak. Please see to that. You're just picking up the things very fast.
Tanisha, are you gonna have a presentation?
Yeah, my screen is visible or not?
No, it's not.
Now?
No.
Now it's visible.
No.
No.
Okay, Tanishi, you may do one thing. You may put on the camera.
Yes,
You
sir.
can start explaining, please, if it's possible. Then
I didn't get you, sir, what you're saying.
I told you, I'm asking you to just put on the camera and start speaking. If suppose the screen is not visible, you can give the presentation.
Sir, I will share my presentation to someone because from the presentation only it will be clearly more appropriate for me
Okay, fine.
and for others also.
Okay,
Okay.
share to me. Yes, share to me.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes,
by
sir,
the-
you can go for further. I will just after that and I will show.
Okay, Mitali, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Screen visible?
No.
Not yet.
No.
Yes, please.
Sir, just a minute.
Okay. Please make it fast. Okay, meanwhile, I'm taking the name of the second list. That is there. Please take a note of it. Mr. Rohit Barulkar, Mr. Vaibhav Katkade, Mr. Om Nikhil. After that, Siddhant Bhuvankar, Kritika Jagtap, Kalyani Tulsiram Patil. After that, we have Dhruv Bhartiya, Anirudh Raut, and Prachi Kharat. These people should be ready. Then Swati Neil and Nehal Desai and Harish Chaudhary. Please be ready with your presentations. So this will be the next batch of presenters.
Okay, sir.
Fine. So what happened is other things moving fast. Okay. Mitali, are you there?
सर ये स्लाइड शेयर नहीं हो रही है. जस्ट 2 मिनट. आप आगे का टर्न ले लीजिए. मैं अभी करती हूँ कुछ.
ठीक है. Norul, are you ready?
Sir, because of electricity issue, please give me 5 minutes. I'll be there. Without presentation, I can give, but little more time, sir. 5 minutes.
Okay. Mr. Sheikh Lal Sheikh, are you ready?
Excuse me, sir. I have Tanishi's presentation now, so
Yeah,
can we
please.
continue with that?
Yes, sure. Please go ahead. That's good. Yeah, Tanishi, please be ready.
Yes, sir.
Is the screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, visible.
Please start.
Tanishi, start.
Yeah, basically my PPT is on the cloud computing topic, and I choose this because I find it very convenient to make you easily understand with this. And this is only a 4 minutes for cloud computing. And next slide. Next slide. Next slide.
It's not work. No.
You can start, Tanishi.
Yeah, basically cloud computing is a technology on which we can access from anywhere and anytime. It is basically through the internet basis, and it has various characteristics and advantages over that. And it has various advantages like resource pooling, on-demand services, easy maintenance of this, scalability and rapid elasticity, security and automations, and large network access. And it has some advantages over that also, that is backup and restore data, mobility, pay-per-use model, improved collaborations. And it has many disadvantages also, that because of internet issues and all, we can have various technical problems and interoperability issues and privacy issues also. Sometimes it get where it has various types and models through this. This slide basically shows that it's only example of cloud computing, that various guests come over our house. तो अब हम ये सोचेंगे कि अब करना क्या है. ये एक एग्जांपल है कि ये बहुत सारी फाइल्स हैं, बहुत सारा कंटेंट है, अब इनको हम करेंगे क्या. तो एक नेक्स्ट एक पर प्रेस कर दो. तो he was tense कि how to deal with this. So he has various cloud computing types. It has, next slide please. तो इसको आइडिया लगाना है कि इन गेस्ट को कहाँ रखेंगे. तो क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग के टाइप्स हैं, लाइक ये क्या है, हम इसको हाउस में रख सकते हैं, या फिर होटल में रख सकते हैं, या फिर हाउस या होटल में, या फिर कोई कम्युनिटी हॉल लाइक धर्मशाला यू कैन से. तो बेसिकली अगर हम घर में रखेंगे, इट इज अ प्राइवेट क्लाउड, उसके अपने यूज हैं, अपने एडवांटेजेस हैं. लाइक प्राइवेट क्लाउड गिव्स अस अ सिक्योरिटी, अ सेंट्रल कंट्रोल होगा, और बट हमें ये नहीं होगा कि उसको पूरी सर्विस दी जाएगी अपने गेस्ट को. लाइक हम पूरी सर्विस अपने डॉक्यूमेंट्स को नहीं दे पाते हैं. एंड नेक्स्ट इज द पब्लिक क्लाउड विच कैन बी अ होटल. इसमें हमारे लिए भी कन्वीनियंट है और गेस्ट के लिए भी, एज हाई अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ रूम्स विल बी देयर. मतलब हम ज्यादा अपना डेटा स्टोर कर सकते हैं वहाँ पे. स्केलेबल है, अफोर्डेबल है, बट लेस सिक्योर है, क्योंकि घर में ज्यादा सिक्योरिटी होटल में नहीं है. अपने सामान का अपना ध्यान रखना होता है, वैसे ही हमें अपना डॉक्यूमेंट का भी वैसे ही ख्याल रखना पड़ता है. और बट हमारा वहाँ पे सर्विस एग्रीमेंट बहुत सही जाता है, क्योंकि वहाँ पे हमें और बाहर से भी सेफ्टी मिलती है और काफी सारी सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड होती है. एंड हाइब्रिड इज अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ प्राइवेट एंड अ पब्लिक क्लाउड. मतलब घर और होटल हम दोनों जगह अपनी फैमिलीज, अपने गेस्ट को रख सकते हैं, बट कॉम्प्लेक्स हो जाएगा तो दोनों जगह अपने आप को मैनेज करना. तो इट इज पार्शली सिक्योर इस वजह से, क्योंकि प्राइवेट भी है और पब्लिक भी है. बट इसका सर्विस एग्रीमेंट बेटर होगा प्राइवेट से, बिकॉज कि हम ज्यादातर घर वालों को ज्यादा वो देते हैं प्रेफरेंस, बट हम होटल वाले को इसलिए देते हैं क्योंकि हमने ज्यादा पैसा भरा है, तो हम ज्यादातर अपना डॉक्यूमेंट पब्लिक वाले को सेफ और सर्विस प्रोवाइड करते हैं. एंड धर्मशाला यू कैन से कम्युनिटी क्लाउड, जहाँ पे बेसिकली सारा कोलैबोरेटिव मैनेजमेंट होगा प्राइवेट का. मोर देन दैट, सारे वहाँ पे पार्शली सिक्योर तो होंगे क्योंकि वो घर से दूर है, बट इट इज कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव ऑल्सो. In short, we can say cloud computing, like YouTube videos we used to see, photos, Google photos, वो सब private, public and hybrid and community में ही distribute होते हैं. तो that's it from my side. If any query, you can ask if anything is there. I just explain it through example of a home and a guest we came throughout in our life.
Very, very well explained. That's good. So
Thank
it
you.
was much easy to understand. Thank you. And after 20, we'll be putting up the questions. If anyone has some questions, once 20 presenters are there, we'll have some time for questioning them. Okay. So thank you very much. Ali, may I call the next speaker, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead. So who is taking up the turn now?
Sir, may I? Krishna Bagul, roll number 1.
Okay. Mithali, Mithal, are you ready? Or should I ask Bagul to continue? Mithal, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Mr. Bagul, Mithal के बाद आप देंगे, please.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Mithal, go ahead, please.
Sir, Pooja will screen share.
Okay. Pooja, please share the screen.
Yes, sir. Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible, please. Yes, Mithal, you may start. Mithal, sorry, you may start.
First slide, please. सर वर्क नहीं कर रहा है शायद उसका स्क्रीन.
Okay. Mithal, आप शुरू कर दीजिए पहले, so that once the screen goes on, we'll save time. Yeah, it's coming up. Please start.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
My name is Mithal Mokaria and my topic is cash budget. First of all, we see what is the cash budget. Cash budget represents the amount of estimated cash flow and estimated cash outflows that are expected to occur in the immediate future period. In other words, a cash budget is an estimated projection of the company's cash position in the future. कैश हमें हमारी कंपनी के आगे की पोजीशन क्या होगी वो दर्शाने में हमारी मदद करता है. There are two types of cash budget method, receipt and payment method, and second one is adjusted net income method. तो हम पहले देखते हैं कि कैश इनफ्लोज में क्या क्या आता है. कैश सेल्स, लोन रिसीव्ड, कलेक्शन फ्रॉम डेटर्स, इंटरेस्ट रिसीव्ड, consultancy fee, audit fee, sales of assets, sale of investment, and then we'll see cash outflows, cash purchase, payment to creditors, loan repayment, purchase of assets, purchase of investment, cash expenses, etc. जब हम ये कैलकुलेशन करते हैं तो हमें डेप्रिसिएशन को अवॉइड करना होता है क्योंकि डेप्रिसिएशन कैश एक्सपेंस नहीं है. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. जब भी हम बात करते हैं क्रेडिट पीरियड की तो हमें थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजन होता है कि इसकी कैलकुलेशन कैसे लेते हैं. अगर 1.5 मंथ है और हमारा अप्रैल का एक्सपेंसेस है तो 1.5 अप्रैल में लेंगे और रिमेनिंग 1.5 है वो मई में लेंगे. ऐसे हमें कैलकुलेशन करनी होती है. Then format of cash budget, particular and months. First of all, ओपनिंग बैलेंस लिखना होता है, उसमें कैश इनफ्लोज ऐड करते हैं, इसका टोटल ए आता है, उसमें से लेस कैश आउटफ्लो करना होता है, उसका टोटल बी होता है और ए में से बी को बात करके हमें क्लोजिंग बैलेंस मिलता है. इसी तरह से हम कैश बजट कंपनी का बना सकते हैं. थैंक यू सर.
Okay.
And
yes, please.
Just minute, sir. Then importance of cash budget, helpful in planning. हमें प्लानिंग करने में मदद करता है कि आगे हमें कितने पैसों की जरूरत होगी. Forecasting the future needs. Then control cash expenditure. हमें कौन से खर्चे नहीं करने चाहिए, किस पे कंट्रोल करना चाहिए. Then evaluation of performance. हमारी कंपनी या हमारी जो फर्म है उसका परफॉर्मेंस कैसा है उसे एवेल्युएट करने में मदद करता है. मेंटेनिंग द लिक्विडिटी. हमारी जो लिक्विडिटी है कंपनी और एंटरप्राइज की उसे दर्शाने में भी मदद करता है. That's all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Just wanted to ask you one question. What is liquidity?
Liquidity means हमें पैसे कब तक मिलने वाले हैं. हमने किसी को पैसे दिए हैं, वो पैसे हमें कब तक मिल जाएंगे, उसको लिक्विडिटी बोलते हैं.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I wanted to ask something.
Yeah, please.
Those who are speaking for less than 5 minutes, do I require to note them?
Yeah, you can just because अगर time पूरा use करते explanation के लिए तो better for them also, ना?
Okay.
Right? So if it's there, like if you feel like the information is incomplete, you have some questions, so you can put some questions till 5 minutes are there. Okay.
No, questions are not there, but people are speaking for 3-4 minutes. So should I note that?
Yeah, please note it, because the time given, everyone should utilize the exact time. Suppose now when you're giving a presentation and you know you have time, ample of time left out with you.
Okay, sir.
So better thing is utilize that time giving an example also, no? So that the things are very clear.
Okay, sir. I'll note it down then.
Fine, thank you. So Krishna, please go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mithil. So after Krishna, I'll be just asking the other two speakers. Nurul, be ready, and Sheikhlal, be ready, please.
Yes, sir. Now I am ready.
Yeah, just after Krishna, you need to be. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Krishna, please continue.
Hello.
Hello.
Screen is visible, sir.
Yeah, it's visible, but it's blank enough.
Sir, Abhi.
Just a second. It takes around 5 to 6 seconds to be visible. I'm still getting your blank screen. Okay. Are you facing some problem, Krishna? Okay, Nurul, you may start, please.
Yes, sir. सर वो डॉक्यूमेंट दिख नहीं रहा है, तो वैसे ही प्रेजेंट कर देता हूँ.
हाँ, तो अभी काम करते हैं. नूरुल शुरू कर रहा है, उसके बाद आप करिए फिर. अभी ठीक है.
हेलो.
हेलो.
सर, अभी विजिबल है.
नूरुल, यस.
सर अभी वो करूँ या वो कर रहा है या मैं करूँ?
नूरुल कर रहा है, उसके बाद आप करिए. नूरुल, स्टार्ट प्लीज.
हाँ, कृष्ण अपनी स्क्रीन. हाँ, 1 minute sir, I am presenting.
The second batch of 10, please get ready.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please start.
Sir, my topic is computing technologies.
Okay.
Under which, first of all, we talk about virtualization. Virtualization में पहले तो मैं लेमन लैंग्वेज में बोलूंगा, बाद में हम उसका लिटरल मीनिंग देखेंगे. तो वर्चुअलाइजेशन मतलब सामने होकर भी वो सामने नहीं है. जैसे अब एक मशीन या एक कंप्यूटर में एक ही ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम चलता, लेकिन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में मल्टीपल सॉफ्टवेयर यूज होते हैं. जैसे अपना टैली अलग ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम की डिमांड करता और ERP अलग ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम की डिमांड करता. तो वर्चुअलाइजेशन क्या करता है? वर्चुअलाइजेशन में एक ही मशीन के अंदर हम मल्टीपल ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम यूज कर सकते हैं. वर्चुअलाइजेशन का मीनिंग ये है कि द कोर कंसेप्ट ऑफ वर्चुअलाइजेशन इज डिवाइडिंग a single physical server into multiple logical servers. Once the physical server is divided, it can operate applications and operating system independently. One minute.
Yes, sure.
फिर इसके एप्लीकेशन एरियाज भी है. सर कैन आई गिव आफ्टरवर्ड सर? वो पीपीटी प्रेजेंट नहीं हुआ ना, तो जम रहा ही नहीं सर अभी.
Okay, ठीक है, fine.
Sorry sir.
That's okay, no problems. Krishna, may I have?
Okay, sir.
You?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, please.
सर अभी स्क्रीन विजिबल है मेरे?
हाँ जी, visible है.
Yes. Okay, sir. Let's start. Myself, Krishna Ashok Babul, and presentation on this chapter, profit or loss, pre and post incorporation. I'm audible, sir?
Yeah, you're audible. Please continue.
Introduction. When a running business is taken over by the promoter of a company as at a date prior to the date of incorporation of जैसे running business उसमें is carry by the proprietor वो carry take over करती है. Will take time for getting certificate of incorporation certificate जो होता है उसमें 2-3 months उससे merger of the proprietor business getting certificate. इन दोनों में जो गैप होता है जैसे 2 to 3 months लगता है उसे हम प्रॉफिट और लॉस इनकॉर्पोरेट कहते हैं. जैसे एग्जांपल Q Limited was incorporated on 1/8/2000 to take over the business of W Limited for 1/2001. The year ended on 31st March 2002. Which period should be as the incorporation period and post incorporation period? इसमें से प्री इनकॉर्पोरेशन पीरियड कौन सा है और पोस्ट इनकॉर्पोरेशन पीरियड कौन सा है? Solution. Date of incorporation 1/8/2001 1st August and date of takeover 1st May 2001. Pre-incorporation period 1st May to 1st August 3 months होते हैं. जैसे मई जून और जुलाई. अगस्त कंसिडर बिकॉज 1st अगस्त से ये हो रहा है इनकॉर्पोरेट, तो इसलिए वो 3 मंथ हुए. और वैसे ही पोस्ट इनकॉर्पोरेशन अगस्त से लेके मार्च 31st मार्च तक जैसे 8 मंथ्स हो रहे. वैसे मेथड्स कौन कौन से? मेथड्स ऑफ कंप्यूटेशन उसमें 2 मेथड्स आते हैं. तो फर्स्ट आप ज्यादातर यूज नहीं होता है अपने सिलेबस में. सेकेंड होता है स्प्लिट अप द प्रॉफिट ऑफ द ईयर ऑफ द ट्रांसफर ऑफ द बिजनेस टू द कंपनीज बिटवीन प्री एंड पोस्ट इनकॉर्पोरेशन. उसमें स्टेप्स होते हैं जैसे रेशियो होते हैं टाइम बेसिस और टर्नओवर बेसिस एंड कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ बोथ. सर आई एम ऑडिबल ना? Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Example. Calculation of time ratio and sale ratio. Levant Limited was incorporated on 1st August 2002. Take over the running business of MS Happy with a state from 1 April 2001. The accounts of the company were closure on 31st March 2002. And the monthly sale during the first 4th month of the year 2001 to 2002 was twice, and the average monthly sale during each of the remaining 8 months. जैसे first 4 month जो है वो twice सेल रहेगा और बाद में जो remaining 8 months है वो average sale रहेगा. Calculate time ratio and sales ratio for pre and post incorporation period. Okay, solution. Time ratio कैसे calculate करेंगे हम? Pre incorporation period 1st April 2001 to 1st August 2001. 4 month हुए, जैसे मैंने पहले बताया कैलकुलेट कैसे किया हमने. फिर पोस्ट इनकॉर्पोरेशन उससे आगे जब तक कंपनी क्लोज डेट होते हैं अपने, जैसे 31 मार्च 2002, उससे 8 मंथ्स हुए. तो टाइम रेशियो हम कैसे कैलकुलेट करेंगे? फर्स्ट 4 मंथ हुए, फिर बाद में 8 मंथ्स, तो दोनों लेंगे, फिर उससे डिवाइड होता है 4 is the 4 and 4 to the 8. तो डिवाइड 1 of the 2 is ratio, टाइम रेशियो. फिर सेल्स रेशियो, average monthly sales before incorporation was twice the average sale per month of the post incorporation date if x is the sale per month. तो हम per month के लिए x is consider करेंगे month in post corporation period के लिए. Then sale per month of the pre corporation period will be 2x. हम जो twice है हमारा, उसे हम 2x consider करेंगे. जैसे weighted sale ratio और मंथ जो है अपने पहले प्री कॉर्पोरेशन के, उससे इंटू 2 करेंगे 2x, वो 8 आएगा आंसर. जो पोस्ट इनकॉर्पोरेशन डेट है वो 1x into 8 is 8x. Divided in 8 is 1:1. Okay, thank you.
Krishna, done your time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Krishna, for a nice presentation. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sheikh Lal, thank you very much, Mia, for a very good presentation and updating the information. Okay.
सर
Yes, please.
सर मेरे को लैपटॉप से लॉगिन करना पड़ेगा. लैपटॉप से भी लॉगिन नहीं हुआ, मैं बाद में कर सकता?
सब बाद में करेंगे तो करेगा कौन दोस्त. चलो ठीक है, फाइन.
Sorry for that, sir.
Okay, fine. Nidhi, are you ready? Nidhi, are you ready?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, I'm calling the next speakers over here now. Rohit, Vaibhav, Om, then Siddhant, Kritika, Kalyani, Dhruv, Anirudh, Prachi, then Swati, Ashok, Neil, and Harish. Who's ready amongst all of these?
So may I?
Yeah, please
Sir.
go ahead.
Sir,
Hanji,
may I? Okay.
just a second. Now one person is ready. अभी जो उन दो लोगों ने कहा था वो दो लोग शुरू करेंगे फिर बाद में.
Sir, just
हाँ, yes. Yes, please.
first list there is Radhika Tuktevar also. You didn't took her name.
Okay, Radhika is there. Just a second, please. So Radhika, will you present after him?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
After
fine. Okay, Radhika is in the second list, I suppose. Chalo, ठीक है. Radhika after now, Rohit, please. Okay. Yes, please start.
Yes, sir. I would request Suham. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hello, everyone. May I, sir? Can I start?
Yes, yes, please.
Yes. Okay. So, hello, everyone. My name is Rohit Barukar. My topic for today is corporate level strategy. So, next, what is corporate level? What is corporate strategy? First, the strategic decision taken by the corporate level at the top management are known as corporate strategy. In which field these strategies are taken? In the field of how to invest, where to invest, what acquisitions are need to be taken. The decisions made by the top level management. These are the corporate strategies. Next, so these corporate strategies are divided into classified into 4 types. First is stability strategy, second expansion strategy, third retrenchment strategy, and fourth is combination strategy. So I would like to explain one by one. So first is stability strategy. Next, stability strategy. Every business enterprise or firm wants to get stabilized because stability will improve the operational efficiency of it. The product which they are selling will be the operational will be at the operational efficiency. So when we opt for stability strategy, when the existing product is at that level where it is at the top margin and it is when it gets stagnant at in its product life cycle. So this is the stability strategy. And next I would like to I request everyone to observe this table because I'm going to explain this expansion strategy. Why? Expansion strategy. When a business wants to increase the scope of it, then this expansion strategy is taken. Expansion strategy means many businesses are acquired or existing businesses grown and all that things. So basically, growth strategy can be classified into two parts. It's internal and external. So if we talk about internal side, there are two types. Intensification. So what is intensification? Intensification means existing product into existing market. If you want to grow existing product into existing market. So there are three ways into it. First is market penetration. So what is that? Market penetration is what our existing product is and the existing market. We know that we are thorough into it. So we'll try to grow into it. Second is market development. So we will talk about existing product into different market. If you want to grow existing product into different markets, so market development. And third is product development. So different product into same market, existing market. We want to grow our different products into existing market. Now talk about diversification. What is diversification? Different product into different market. So there are four types into it. Vertical integrated. So I'll talk about vertical integrated. What is vertical integrated? Take an example of a manufacturing firm. So there's a chain into it. Start from raw material to the end of distribution. So this chain, the businesses coming into it, the vertical integrated will acquire those businesses. From raw material side, if I talk about forward, then it will go to distribution side. And if I talk about backward, it will go to the raw material side. Next is horizontal integrated. Horizontal integrated is the existing firm will acquire the competitors firm, which are into same related business to increase their scope, also to increase their efficiency into it. Third, if I talk about concentric is related. If a existing firm wants to acquire related business in the form of technology or marketing or anything. And last is conglomerate. Conglomerate is unrelated business, acquiring unrelated business. Conglomerate best example is Tata Industry. Tata Streams. Yeah, there are many businesses they are into conglomerate. Next slide, please. So I'll talk about retrenchment now. Retrenchment strategies applied when the company is not doing well. So it wants to. So there are three strategies into it. First is turnaround strategy. Second, divestment, and third, liquidation. Turnaround strategy. Okay, I just want to complete. Just 1 minute, please. Can I? Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So turnaround strategy, when we do the turnaround strategy is taken when the firm wants to do some changes internally or externally. Divestment is some part of the business want to sell. Company wants to sell that part of the business, and liquidation is the last resort when company wants to close the company. Next slide, please. And last is combination strategy, where if it's a complex business, if there is a complex business, several business units, then we will apply each one of those strategy into the firm. So this is the combination of all the strategies. So these are the total. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Rohit. Well done, and very nice way of presenting it. Thank you. So Radhika, please go ahead.
Sir, I need 5 minutes.
Oh, again 5 minutes.
Sir, can I continue?
Yes, please. So it's Dhruv.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so everyone, my name is Omlunkad and I am going to explain to you the circular flow of income in a 2-sector, 3-sector, and a 4-sector economy.
Oh, you jumped in. Okay, continue.
So first, let's just understand what is the circular flow of income. So circular flow of income refers to a simple economic model where the income goes from the producers to consumers and then back to producers again. Now, this income is not in its whole form in real. It involves a lot of leakages throughout. So we proceed with two basic assumptions that there are two sectors in an economy. One is a firm and the other firm, that are the firms, and then the household. Now let's proceed with two-sector economy. So what is a two-sector economy? In a two-sector economy, there are two components. That is, first is the household, second is the firm. The household gets income in the form of wages, rent, dividends, which are paid by firm. The firm produces the goods, and the household then buys the goods in its entirety. So there are no leakages involved in a two-sector economy. So the whole income, that is Y, is the addition of consumption function, that is C, savings, S, and the total output of the firms. Now I would like to explain you the figure. The figure goes like this, where the household gets resources, gives resources to the firms. The firms produces the output, then the household gets the income, and then expends everything on the outputs which are produced by the firm. The next is a three-sector economy. In a three-sector economy, the government jumps in. Now, when the government jumps in, there are taxes involved, there are service payment involved, and there are service incomes involved. So in a three-sector economy, the basic flow between the household and the firm remains the same, whereas the government government is in the position of a leakager. The government involves leakages in the form of taxation, also transfer payments and subsidies. So as you can see in the figure, the household gets the income from the financial markets. The financial markets in short provides to the firms. The firms then produces the goods. The household buys the goods. The income which is earned by the household, the particular percentage of it is given in the form of taxes to the government. The government spends something on, let's say, transfer payments in the form of, let's say, salaries or pensions, etc. Moving on to a four-sector economy. In a four-sector economy, we also involve the rest of the world. That means imports and exports. So four sectors are the household sector, the business sector, government sector, as was in the three-sector economy. And the fourth sector extra here is the foreign sector. The foreign sector. So what happens is whatever is produced by the domestic firms, it is exported to the rest of the rest of the world. And whatever is not produced or the shortfall is imported. So now two more leakages, that is export and the borrowings, are involved. As you can see in the figure now, the foreign markets then involves the export and import. The imports leads to the rise in the goods which are imported. That is an injection in the economy, while the exports are in the form of leakages. So the total equation goes like Y, that is income, is equals to C plus I plus G plus X minus M. X minus M is the net exports minus import. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Very well presented, my dear sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. May I have the next speaker, please?
Yeah, sir. Should I go ahead?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Dhruv Bhatia, and I'll be giving a presentation on tax invoice under GST. So what exactly is tax invoice? Tax invoice, it is actually a document which is issued by the supplier at the time of supply of goods or services. For example, we go to a shopkeeper, buy something, the shopkeeper will issue us a document. So such document, it acts as a proof of purchase. So it is known as a tax invoice. One of the benefit of tax invoice is that it helps in ensuring transparency in the transactions. It also acts as a evidence of the transaction. So as we there are a lot many transactions. There are a lot many transactions which a supplier enters into, and if tax invoices are not there, the government won't be able to keep a record of all the system. So that's why tax invoices are needed to be issued. Then comes continuous supply of goods. Sometimes what happens, we buy goods, there is a regular supply of goods and services. For example, take a milkman or a newspaper guy. These people, they come to our house every day. They provide us with their, there is a regular supply of products, these products, say milk or newspaper. These people, they will be coming every day, but we don't make a payment on everyday basis. So when at the end of the day, at the end of the month, the person comes up with the statement. He tells us that, see, you have I have supplied you these many liters of milk, or I have provided you newspaper on these many dates. So he will provide us with that document, and whenever such a statement is issued, on that date an invoice has to be issued. Or supposing if the invoice is not issued or such statement is not there, we will make a payment, and if such and on the date on which such payment is issued, on that date the invoice will have to be issued. Moving ahead, provision for invoice on sale or return basis. Now, first of all, what is sale or return basis? Sometimes what happens, we go to a shopkeeper and tell him that we would like to purchase a good or service, but right now I don't want to confirm you whether I would like to keep it with myself. So what the shopkeeper will tell us, okay, you take the product, you take it home, you use it. If you like it, you continue with it. So he will tell us that you have to give us the confirmation within, say, 3 or 4 months. So within 3 or 4 months, if I say I like the product, I'll keep it. That is, I've given my acceptance. So on the date of giving the acceptance, it will amount to supply of goods. And when so the supply has arisen, so on that particular date, the invoice will have to be issued under sale or return basis. Or if I don't give any acceptance, so at least within 6 months or removal of goods or services, I will have to issue the invoice. So moving on, time limit for issue of invoice in case of supply of service. So in normal case, okay, I'll come up to normal case after the second case. So second case is in case of insurance company, a banking company, a financial institution, or a NBFC. In such cases, the invoice has to be issued. That is, whenever such companies will provide us with the services, the invoice will have to be issued within 45 days of supply of the service. And in other cases, like the cases other than which I spoke about, in other cases, that is in the normal case, the invoice will have to be issued within 30 days of supply of services. Now, revised tax invoices. First of all, what are revised tax invoices? Sometimes what happens, the supplier is an unregistered person. So such unregistered person, he will opt for registration, or he will become eligible, or it will be compulsory for him to register himself under GST because he has crossed the threshold. So in such a situation, supposing it is a business to business supply, whether it is an intrastate supply or whether it is interstate supply, he will be required to issue a revised invoice in any of the case. But however, if it is a B2C supply, that is the supply is made to a consumer, then in such case, if it was made on an intrastate basis, if it was an intrastate supply, then in such case, a consolidated invoice can be issued by the supplier. But however, if it was an interstate supply and the supply was up to rupees 2.5 lakh, then in such case also a consolidated revised invoice can be issued. But however, if the supply was more than 2.5 lakh, then in such case, he will be required to issue, just a minute. Then in such case, he will issue a revised invoice. Okay. Now, bill of supply. Bill of supply is issued by a registered person in case he's supplying exempted goods or services, or both, or if he's paying a tax under composition levy. Yeah, that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Very well presented and a nice explanation. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay. May I have the next speaker, please?
Sir,
Yeah,
may I?
please. First the lady and then Harish.
Okay, sir.
Yes, please.
Screen off कर, screen share कर लो.
Yes, who's the next speaker, please?
So wait for a while.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yes, please.
Radhika?
Yes.
Okay, will you? स्क्रीन शेयर की उसने स्वाति ने.
Okay. So who's this speaker?
सर मेरी स्क्रीन शेयर की है.
जी जी कंटिन्यू करें.
ओके. तो मेरी इंफॉर्मेशन है अबाउट पार्टनरशिप अकाउंट्स. तो उसमें हमें बेसिक पॉइंट्स याद रखने चाहिए. वो है रियलाइजेशन लॉस. Realization loss में we will always be all partners will bear the realization loss, but at the time of bringing it only the solvent partners will bring it in cash. In case of insolvency loss will bear by all the partners having positive capital only. And about the goodwill, there are two methods to calculate the goodwill. Is average profit method. In average profit method, we can calculate it as average profit into number of years purchase. And in second method, super profit method, we need to calculate it like average profit minus super profit into number of year purchase. The second slide. Okay, there are many concepts in partnership account. The first is dissolution. In case of dissolution, one partner, in case of one insolvency of one partner, we have to prepare the account of realization account, then partner's capital account, and then cash account. In case of firm dissolution, we have to prepare the account realization account, separate account for the liability, and third account is partners capital account, and fourth is deficiency account. But the adjustments are we have to make sure are insolvency loss adjustment, Garner versus Murray rule, and realization of P&L adjustment. Next, sorry. In the concept of if the asset realized in installment, we have to make first payment to the outsider. Second payment is to internal liability. Example, the partner's loan. Third, we have to make the payments to partners. For the making payments to partner, we have to follow the two methods. Either we can follow the method of maximum loss method or the highest relative capital method. Next. In case of conversion or the sale of partnership firm into the company, we have to make we have to maintain the two books, in the books of firm or in the books of company. In the books of firm, we have to prepare the realization account, partners capital account, cash and bank account, or the purchasing company account. In realization account, this account is not as usual realization account. Here we should not transfer. Here we can transfer all the assets and liability, but except cash and bank losses and the advance to partner. In the books of company, we have to pass all the general entries as usual. Next. In case of updation of account, we have to prepare the balance sheet on the date of dissolution. But in the question, we have given only the date of example. We have to in question we have given the balance sheet on 31st March 2011, but we have to prepare the balance sheet on the date of dissolution, that is on 31st June 2022. Here the point is not I have mentioned, but yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Radhika, but I have a question now for you. Should
Yes,
I?
sir. Yes.
Okay. What precautions we need to take when we come up with a partnership deed? What are the two important components we have to look in for? And what we have to include in partnership deed? Two important components that should be included in a partnership deed.
Component means at the time of dissolution or what?
Just go ahead. Like, what are the two important things we should include in a partnership deed?
Remuneration about.
Okay. And is there something to be mentioned about the exit clause?
What, sir?
Something to be mentioned about the exit clause. Should an exit clause be added?
Clause.
Yeah. Is it important?
I don't know, sir, about this, but dissolution, at the time of dissolution, they decide maybe.
Okay. So just have a study about this. What will a clause, that is exit clause, should it be added or not in a partnership firm? What importance does it carry? Just make a study of it later on. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Fine. Thank you. May I have the next speaker, please?
Sir, may I?
Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
After Harish. Siddhant, after
Okay.
Harish. Continue, please.
Yes, sir.
Please start.
Hello, everyone. My topic for today is Accounting Standard 9, AS9, which is revenue recognition. So first of all, what is AS9 and what topics does it address? So that will include the accrual concept, the revenue recognition principles, and the concept of prudence. Now, why do we need AS9? That is, what question does it address? What problem does it address? So for that, the financial information is to be reported on a periodic basis, right? But the business does not differentiate between years. It will continue year on year. Therefore, it is very important that the revenue for a year is recorded in the right period and proper differentiation is made for revenue from different years. AS9 is not applicable to certain matters, which will include construction contracts, hire purchase agreements, government grants, and insurance contracts. Now, this is because there are specific ASs which are applicable to these contracts. For example, AS7 is applicable to construction contracts. So those will be applicable to these matters and not AS9. Now, what is revenue? A very basic definition has been given. Revenue is the gross inflow of cash receivables in the ordinary course of business. Now, there are certain things which will not be included in revenue, which will be unrealized holdings and gains. That is, for example, you hold shares and those shares appreciate, then that the amount to which they have appreciated will not be included in revenue because it is unrealized. Then gains from disposal of fixed assets will not be included in AS9 because it is not in ordinary course of business, and gains from changes in forex rates. Now, let's get to the crux. How will revenue be recognized for for sale of goods and services? Now, for revenue from sale of goods, there are three basic criteria for recognition. First is that seller has transferred the property and goods to the buyer for consideration. That is, the ownership has been transferred. Then risk and rewards are transferred and the seller no longer has a control of ownership. And then no significant uncertainty exists regarding the receipt of consideration. That is, it is certain that the consideration will be received from the buyer. Now, for revenue from sale of services, there are two methods. First is proportionate completion method, in which the revenue from the service that is being rendered will be recognized as the service is being rendered. That is, at the end of the year, you will calculate the degree of work that has been completed, that the degree of service that has been rendered, and in that proportion, you will calculate the revenue and recognize it in your P&L. And then second is completed service contract method, which says that you should recognize revenue only once the entire service has been rendered. This method is generally not adopted because it can sometimes go against the accrual principle. However, if the service is completed in the same year in which it began, then it can be adopted because there will be no issue. Now, for revenue from interest, royalties, and dividends, to cut it short, for interest and royalty, you recognize the revenue on accrual basis, and for dividend, the revenue from dividend you will recognize when the dividend is declared. That is, the right to receive dividend of the company has been established. That's it from my side, guys. Thank you for your time and attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very well explained.
I'm ready, sir.
Thank you,
Yes.
sir.
Roll number 21.
सर
नूरुल,
मैं स्टार्ट करूं?
एक सेकंड, अभी नूरुल,
सिद्धांत सर।
फिर सिद्धांत, सॉरी नूरुल, एक सेकंड, पहले सिद्धांत करेंगे,
Yes, sir.
फिर I heard word from a lady, Kritika, and then Nurul. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Who's giving the presentation? Is it Nurul or Siddhant?
Yes, sir. Can I start?
Siddhant hai, sir.
Okay, Siddhant, please.
Siddhant.
Okay.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Let us start with the topic set off and carry forward of losses. First, we will see what is set off. It is the adjustment of losses against the eligible profit of the year. It is covered under Section 70 and Section 71 of the Income Tax Act 1961. Then we will see carry forward of losses. The losses which could not be set off against the income of assessment year, but are allowed to be carry forward to set off against the income of subsequent year. मतलब जो लॉस सेट अप नहीं हुआ है करंट ईयर में उसको कैरी फॉरवर्ड कर सकते हैं. Now we will see first of all always set off the losses of particular one head from the income of same head. This is called as inside adjustment. Then you will try to set off against income of other head. This is inter head adjustment. If still there is a loss, this loss carry forward to subsequent year. In the subsequent year, the loss which is carry forwarded only set up against the income of same head only. मतलब जो लॉस कैरी फॉरवर्ड किया है वो सेम हेड में ही सेट अप करना होगा. एंड ऑलवेज रिमेंबर पहले सेम हेड से सेट अप करना है बाद में अदर हेड्स. Then next we will see head wise with the help of this chapter. Chart. First, loss from salary. Loss from salary cannot be possible because employee कभी भी employer को पैसे नहीं देगा काम करके. Second is loss from house property. First, set up against the income from other house property. If still balance is there, you can set up against other head income, but this can be set up maximum up to 2 lakhs, and balance loss can carry forward up to 8 years. Next, in case of speculation business, the loss of speculation business can be set up only against the profit of speculation business, and this can be carried forward up to 4 years. And next is unabsorbed depreciation and capital expenditure on scientific research and family planning. This can be set up against any income and can be carried forward up to infinite period. Next, loss from the non-speculative business can be set up against any business income, whether it is speculative, non-speculative, or a specified business under Section 3580, and can be set up against other head except head salary, and can carry forward up to 8 years. And long-term capital loss can be set up only against long-term capital gain, and short-term capital loss can be set up against short-term capital gain and long-term capital gain, and these both can be carried forward up to 8 years. And in case of owing and maintaining the horse race, can set up against the income of owing and maintaining the horse race, and can be carried forward up to 4 years. In case of income from other source, this can be set up from same head or other head, but this loss cannot be carried forward to next year. This is the exception. And last is a specified business under Section 3580. This can be set up only against the income of the specified business only, and can be carried forward for the infinite period. That's from my side. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Siddhant, you need to do one thing, my dear. You need to put a bit of energy, right?
Okay.
You have that content, but you need to put a bit of energy. Okay. So next time, just remember that you have to put a bit of energy over here. Okay. May I have the next speaker, please?
Nurul sir.
Yes, sir.
कृतिका के बाद नूरुल आएंगे, ठीक है? Yes, please.
Okay, so myself, Kritika Jagtap, and my today's topic is declaration and payment of dividend. Next. Of dividend. But what is dividend? In simple word, we can say that dividend is a distribution of profit. That is a portion of profit earned and allocated as payable to shareholders whenever it is demanded. Next, basically there are two types of dividend. First is interim dividend and second is final dividend. Next, what is interim dividend? Interim dividend is declared and it is paid during the accounting year. That is before finalization of account. मतलब final account prepare करने से पहले हम interim dividend pay करते हैं और interim dividend is announced by the board of directors and it is declared before the preparation of financial account and it can be revoked with the consent of shareholders. मतलब अगर shareholders चाहे तो हम उसे cancel भी कर सकते हैं. Next. Final dividend. Final dividend is declared at the annual general meeting. It is recommended by the board of directors and approved by the shareholders. And it is declared after preparation of financial statement and it cannot be revoked. Final dividend हम cancel नहीं कर सकते. Next. There are certain provisions regarding declaration and payment of dividend. First is source for declaration. Under that, first is profit of current financial year. मतलब जो current financial year का profit होता है हम उससे भी dividend declare कर सकते हैं. Then second is profits of any previous financial year. मतलब previous year का जो profit होता है उससे हम dividend declare कर सकते हैं. Third is both of above. And fourth is provision of money from government. मतलब government से जो funds होता है उससे भी हम dividend declare कर सकते हैं. Next. Second is transfer to reserve. A company is free to transfer any portion of its profit to reserve as it may deem fit. And it may also decide that not to transfer any amount to reserve. Next, so declaration of dividend when there is inadequacy or absence of profit. Under that, while during a year where there is no adequate profit, for declaring dividend, the company may declare dividend out of its profit of any previous transferred by it to its free reserve. मतलब जब हमारे पास adequate profit नहीं होता है तो फिर हम वो जो previous year के जो profit होता है उससे भी हम dividend declare कर सकते हैं. Next, depositing of amount of dividend. According to section 123 subsection 4, the amount of dividend shall be deposited in a separate account maintained with a scheduled bank. मतलब जो भी amount होता है dividend का वो हमें separate account में deposit करना होता है and the amount must be transferred to the account within the 5 days declaration of dividend. मतलब dividend declare करने से 5 days पहले हमें वो amount transfer कर देना पड़ता है. Next, payment of dividend. Dividend shall be payable only to the registered shareholders or to his banker. Dividend are payable in cash and applicability of section 123 subsection 5 to nil. Next, prohibition on declaration of dividend. First is prohibition in case of any defaulting company. Under that, a company which fails to comply with the provision of section 73 and section 74 shall not, so long as such failure continues, declare any dividend on his equity shares. मतलब जो कंपनी सेक्शन प्रोविजन सेक्शन 73 और 74 में जो है वो फेलियर होने के डिविडेंड इक्विटी शेयर पर नहीं डिक्लेयर कर सकती. और सेकंड इज प्रोविजन इन केस ऑफ सेक्शन 8, दैट इज नो डिविडेंड फॉर सेक्शन 8 which is registered under Companies Act. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, just a word for Krutika.
Yes, sir.
There were two presentations, I suppose, same like two people having the same presentation. Who are those two people? I've got a message over here, Krutika and.
सर मेरा भी है सर.
ठीक है, आपकी एक्सप्लेनेशन अलग-अलग हो सकती है ना?
यस सर, मेरा पूरा चैप्टर है.
ठीक है,
मेरा भी है सर वही.
मेरा भी वही थी सर.
Explanations workout अलग-अलग हो जाएगी, ठीक है?
Yes sir.
Yes.
Okay, so may I call the next speaker, please?
Nurul Arif sir.
हाँ जी, please go ahead.
Sir, is my screen is sharing?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
visible. You may continue, and I'll request all the presenters to put on the cameras because you're going live on the YouTube also. Okay, go ahead, please. Nurul, start your presentation.
Audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Hello everyone. My name is Arif Qureshi. My roll number is 21. My topic is computing technology. So first is BYOD. BYOD means bring your own devices. BYOD refers to a business policy where the employees are supposed to bring their own devices and the organization will not provide devices such as smartphones, tablets, etc. फिर इसके advantages हैं. Employees are happy because they are using their own devices. Lower IT budgets because organization तो devices दे नहीं रही है तो उनकी वो cost बच जाएंगी. Increased employee efficiency because employees are familiar with their own devices. Early adoption of new technologies. Employee अपने डिवाइस में न्यू टेक्नोलॉजीज पहले लगाएगा, वही अगर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का डिवाइस होता तो वह ऐसा नहीं करता. फिर इसके लिमिटेशन से इम्प्लीमेंटेशन रिस्क. अब हम एम्प्लॉय से कैसे कहेंगे कि भाई तुम्हारा डिवाइस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में लेके आओ. एक अच्छा BYOD पॉलिसी होना ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में जरूरी है. नेटवर्क रिस्क में the organization does not even aware how many devices are connected. से एंटीवायरस अगर लगाना है तो कितने डिवाइस में लगेंगे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को खुद नहीं मालूम. डिवाइस रिस्क. डिवाइस कैन बी स्टोलन और डिस्ट्रॉय भी हो सकता है. तो भले डिवाइस एम्प्लॉय का है पर उसमें डेटा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का है तो डेटा हमारा लॉस हो सकता है. एप्लीकेशन रिस्क. अब सिक्योरिटी लगाना है तो ना ऑर्गेनाइजेशन लगाता ना एम्प्लॉय लगाता. अभी भी डिसाइड नहीं है कि कौन डिवाइस में सिक्योरिटी लगेगा. नाउ कम्स टू वेब 3. वेब 3 समझने से पहले हम वेब 1 के बारे में जानें. वेब 1 ओनली शोज डेटा लाइक ICAI वेबसाइट. वेब 2 इट इंटरैक्ट्स विद द यूजर. जैसे कि इंस्टाग्राम है, फेसबुक है, जहाँ पे आप इंटरैक्ट कर सकते हैं, लाइक, डिसलाइक, कमेंट. और फिर उसके बाद है वेब 3. वेब 3 ऑल्सो नोन एज सिमेंटिक वेब where the computer generates raw data on their own without direct user intervention. जहाँ पे हम 3 लोग रहेंगे, यूजर रहेगा. Let's take an example of such as Amazon website. तो Amazon की website, user and artificial intelligence. Now इसके components है semantic web. Semantic web means it analyzes the behavior of the user. उसके likings, उसके dislikings के बारे में. और web services means it gives right information to the right user. Now, what is mobile computing? First of all, we understand what is mobile. Mobile means anything. What is mobile? Anything which can be moved from one location to another location easily is known as mobile. Now, what is mobile computing? Whenever computer operation is done on move is known as mobile computing. तो हम पेन को मोबाइल कहेंगे पर मोबाइल कंप्यूटिंग नहीं कहेंगे. मोबाइल कंप्यूटिंग के एग्जांपल्स है लैपटॉप, स्मार्टफोन्स,
Nurul, time up.
Okay, thank you very much, Nurul. And a very good presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I call upon the next speaker, please?
Sir, may I?
Yeah, please. नूरल अपना स्क्रीन शेयरिंग थोड़ा सा ये करेंगे प्लीज, ऑफ कर देंगे so that the other person can come up.
Yes, sir. 1 minute.
Okay, I'm inviting the
Thank
next
you, sir.
speaker, please. Thank you very much, Nurul. A very nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. May I call the next speaker, please?
Yes, sir. May I?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, is my screen visible?
Not yet. Just a second, please.
Yes.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay.
Please start.
Yes, sir. Okay, so hello everyone. Myself Nehal Desai, and I am going to present on the topic national income. First of all, let's see what is national income. National income measures the total value of all goods and services produced within the economy over a period of time. Let us move to why is national income important? What is the importance of national income? National income is important to economists when they consider country's business cycle, when they look at the distribution of national income, and also to change the average living standard of the population. We will see at the different concepts of national income one by one. The first one is gross domestic product, also known as GDP. It is defined as an aggregate measure of production equal to the sum of gross value added to all the resident units engaged in production. Next we'll see is GNP, which is the market value of all products and services produced in 1 year by the labor and land supplied by the citizens of the country. Next we'll see the personal income, which is the total money income received by the individuals, households of a country before deduction of direct taxes. Next, the fourth one is per capita income. Per capita income of a country is derived by dividing the national income of a country by the total population of the country. For example, let's say the national income of a country is 30 lakh crores and the total population is 138 crores. Then the per capita income will be 30 lakh crore divided by 138 crores, which will be 21,739. Now let's move to the measurement of national income. There is a circular flow of production, income, and expenditure. So national income can be analyzed as a flow of goods and services, as a flow of income, and as a flow of expenditure on goods and services. Let's move on to the methods of measuring national income. There are basically 3 methods of measuring national income. The first one is the product method, the second one is the income method, and the third one is the expenditure method. Let's discuss them in brief. So the first one is product method, which is also called as output method. In this method, the economy is divided on the basis of industries such as agriculture, fishing, mining, quarrying, etc. The physical units of outputs are interpreted in money terms, that is monetary values. The total values are added up, indirect taxes are subtracted, and the subsidies received are added, and the net value is calculated by subtracting depreciation from the total value. Let's move to the second method, that is income method. We estimate the income earned by various factor services engaged in the process of production. The sum of these income provides us the measure of gross national income with factor cost. The process is we should add wages, salaries, rent, interest, dividends, undistributed profits, mixed income, direct taxes, depreciation, and net factor income from abroad. The third and the last method is the expenditure method. Professor Samuelson calls this as flow of product approach, but in India, it is known as outlay method. GNP is the sum of expenditure incurred on goods and services received during 1 year in a country. So GNP is calculated by consumption plus investment, adding government expenditure, and exports minus imports. So this was a brief on the topic national income. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I have a question to everybody now. Should I ask?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, some of the avenues are there that are run by the government, or there are some sectors or some businesses run by the government, right? As such, if I'm talking about railways or electricity boards and all those things, which are run by government over here, right? So why does the government run these institutions, even if it's a loss-making firm? Even though if these firms are lost, like if suppose railways are there and where railway budgets were given, most of the time it was shown that it's in loss. State transport shows that the state transport corporation buses are in loss, or electricity board says it's in loss. If these
Social benefit.
firms are going in losses, why does the government continue on this?
Social
Sir,
benefit.
Yes.
May I?
it
Social
is for
benefit
the
के लिए.
public. If these sectors are privatized, then what the private industries will do, they will dominate and increase the prices. So it will be not beneficial for the public now. So the government tries to even manage the loss-making sectors, but keep them beneficial for the public.
Okay, so is there certain provisions that way, or it is just for the public welfare they are doing it?
I guess there are also the provisions and obviously the public welfare.
Okay, is someone else having some other point of view, or it's
So,
same? Yes,
so
please.
what I believe is government has no business to be in business.
Okay.
So though these sectors might, if are completely privatized, may lead to some inefficiencies, I think government should privatize it, and that is what happening right now. You can look at IRCTC or many other industries which are being privatized right now.
Okay, but
So,
yes,
can
please.
I?
Yes, please.
So privatization will make the competition between different firms. That whoever will be privatized means that sector. So the competition will lower the prices, and it will gradually be effective. It will be beneficial for public only. So no one should oppose that privatization of governments. Yeah, I suppose.
Okay, fine. So I just wanted to know the views. Like I just put this question forth to just know your views. Okay.
Sir, share your views also now.
There are certain things for certain time the government should run the things, and later on, once you have some financial stability that has come up in the nation, then only the things should be privatized. But to an extent where there's a lot of gap between this thing, like wealth flow gap is there. Till that time, government should take up the welfare schemes, and once this gap is minimized, then only privatization can do a big deal over here. This is my view, right?
Yes, sir, agree.
So may I have the next speaker, please?
May I?
Yes, please.
May I, sir?
Okay, first it's Soham, and after that you may speak. Okay, please go ahead. So who's going ahead? Soham? Or
Is my
Sheikh
screen
Lal?
visible?
Okay, who's going? Is it
So
Soham?
me, sir.
Okay,
Me.
okay, go ahead. The screen is visible. Please continue.
So good evening, everyone. The topic I have chosen is appointment of auditors. So who is an auditor? An auditor is a person authorized to review and verify the accuracy of the financial records and to ensure that the companies comply with the tax laws. So the main qualification for a person to be an auditor are that he must be a chartered accountant in a practice. And when a firm is doing an audit of a company, only the partners who are in practice shall be authorized to sign the document. And the disqualifications of an auditor are that a body corporate is not allowed to do an audit. An officer or a company of which the audit is been done, an officer cannot be an employee of the company. A person relative who is a director or a key manager person in the company which has been audited is also not allowed. Next. So the appointment of first auditor is as follows. In the government company, the first auditor must be appointed by the comptroller and auditor general within 60 days of the registration of the company. If it is not done by CNG, the board of directors must appoint in the next 30 days. And if BOD also does not appoint it, the members of the company shall appoint the auditor in the next 60 days at an EGM, which is extraordinary general meeting. And in case of a non-government company, the first auditor shall be appointed by the board of directors in the first 30 days after the registration of the company. And if it is not done, the members shall appoint the auditor in the next 90 days. First auditor shall hold the office till conclusion of the first annual general meeting. And next, appointment of a subsequent auditor, which is the auditor after the first auditor. In case of the government company, the C and G must appoint it in 180 days from the commencement of the financial year. And in case of a non-government company, it shall be appointed in the first AGM at the end of the first AGM, and he shall hold office till the conclusion of the sixth AGM, which is the total period of 5 years. Casual vacancy. Casual vacancy arises in 3 circumstances: when there is a death of an auditor, disqualification of an auditor, and resignation of an auditor. In case of government company, the C and G of India shall appoint it within the period of 30 days, and if not, the BOD must appoint it in the next 30 days. And in case of non-government company, if the casual vacancy is due to the reason of resignation, the BOD must appoint it within the 30 days. And if casual vacancy is not due to resignation, the BOD must appoint it within 30 days. And if it is due to the resignation, BOD must appoint it in 30 days, but it shall be approved by the shareholder within 3 months in the EGM or AGM, whichever is first. Rotation of auditor. Rotation of auditor involves that if auditor completes its term of 5 years, he shall not be appointed in the same company in the next 5 years, which is known as the cooling period. And if it is an audit firm, it can do 2 terms of 5 years and then a cooling period of 5 years. Next, some miscellaneous points. A returning auditor may be reappointed at annual general meeting if he is not disqualified for the reappointment, if he has not given a notice of writing of his unwillingness to be reappointed. Next, also, when at a AGM, no auditor is appointed, the same auditor which was the existing auditor shall continue to be the auditor of the company. And the final point, if a company requires to constitute the audit committee, then it shall comply with section 177. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I would like to ask a question to everybody now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. The thing is, how is the session going? Is it useful?
Yes, sir.
In what way? In what way it is useful? Yes.
Concepts.
Short and crisp revisions are going on.
Okay.
रिवीजन हो रहे हैं.
रिवीजन हो रहा है, चलो ठीक है. तो क्या हमको लगता है कि हम बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं अगर सब मिलके काम करें तो?
Yes, sir. Of course.
Yes, sir. तो अभी जो भी एक्सप्लेनेशन आएगा विद रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आएगा.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है. Give your best. May I call upon the next speaker, please?
सर मैं शेख लाल शेख.
हाँ जी, please go ahead.
सर 1 मिनट है, स्क्रीन शेयर कर रहा हूँ. सर स्क्रीन विजिबल है?
अभी नहीं हुआ विजिबल.
नहीं. अब?
नहीं, अभी भी नहीं.
1 मिनट सर.
अभी आप विजिबल हो गए हो.
1 मिनट सर. हाँ 1 मिनट सर, रॉन्ग तरफ गया. आप दिख रहा सर?
After Sheklal, should I do?
Yes, please. Yes, Swati.
Yes.
सर दिख रहा है आप?
नहीं,
Sheklal.
नहीं दिख रहा है अभी।
2 मिनट है सर।
ओके, तब तक मैं एक स्पीकर ले लूं, तब तक फिर
नहीं हो गया सर, एक
हाँ जी,
एक ट्राई हो गया क्या?
हो गया। प्लीज स्टार्ट।
हाँ, थैंक्स
अपना
सर।
प्रेजेंटेशन ऑन कर दीजिए।
एक मिनट सर।
Yes, please. It's visible. Go ahead.
सर मैंने टॉपिक लिया है इंट्रोडक्शन टू कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग। इट इज द फर्स्ट चैप्टर ऑफ कॉस्ट एंड मैनेजमेंट अकाउंटिंग। सर इसमें पॉइंट्स टू बी कवर्ड माय फ्रेंड्स, इंट्रोडक्शन, वेरियस डेफिनेशंस, objectives of cost and elements of cost, and classification on the basis of behavior. सर इंट्रोडक्शन इसका ऐसा है, माइकल ई पोर्टर ये एक प्रोफेसर है हार्वर्ड बिजनेस स्कूल में। इनकी थ्योरी है, इन हिज थ्योरी ऑफ जेनेरिक कॉम्पिटिटिव स्ट्रेटजीज हैज डिस्क्राइब्ड cost leadership, that is cost accounting, as one of the 3 strategic dimensions. Others are product differentiation and focus or niche to achieve competitive advantage in the industry. And move forward, there are some definition. What means cost? Cost means monetary sacrifices done to achieve some objective. अब ये ऑब्जेक्टिव कुछ भी हो सकते हैं सर। कोई कंपनी है, जैसे मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी है, टेबल मैन्युफैक्चर करती है, तो उसके लिए जितना वो मॉनेटरी सैक्रिफाइस कर रहे हैं वो उनकी कॉस्ट होंगी। दूसरी एग्जांपल ले लिए तो जैसा हम कोई चीज खरीदने जाते हैं, पेन हो गया, पेंसिल हो गया, कोई वही कॉपी हो गई, तो ये जब हम उन्हें पैसे देते हैं सामने वाले को, तो वो उसकी चीज की वो कॉस्ट होती है। और इसके बाद दूसरा है कॉस्टिंग। अब कॉस्टिंग का मतलब ऐसा होता है कि द टेक्निक एंड प्रोसेस ऑफ असर्टेनिंग अ कॉस्ट। बोले तो जो कॉस्ट है उसको असर्टेन करने के वास्ते जो टेक्निक और प्रोसेस यूज की जाती है उसे कॉस्टिंग कहती है। आगे कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग। इट इज डिफाइंड एज the process of accounting for cost which begins with the recording of income and expenditure and ends with the preparation of periodical statement and reports for ascertaining and controlling cost. अब सादी भाषा में बोलना बोले तो कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग जहां से हम रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं इनकम और एक्सपेंडिचर, वहां से लेके कॉस्ट शीट बनाने तक जितने काम हम करते हैं उसको कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग कहा जाता है। ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ऑफ कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग, यानी कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग ही क्यों करना है, क्योंकि आप उन्हें 11वीं 12वीं में और ग्रेजुएशन में फाइनेंशियल अकाउंटिंग सीखे आए, लेकिन कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग का क्या फायदा है? तो इसका पहला फायदा ये है, इससे हमको असर्टमेंट ऑफ कॉस्ट ऑफ ईच यूनिट जॉब एटसेट्रा। बोले तो अपन किसी भी यूनिट का, किसी भी जॉब का या किसी भी एक्टिविटी की कॉस्ट पता कर सकते हैं। इसका दूसरा ऑब्जेक्टिव है डिटर्मिनेशन ऑफ सेलिंग प्राइस। इसकी अगर कॉस्ट हमें पता रहेगी तो हम इसका सेलिंग प्राइस तय कर सकते हैं। और तीसरा है असर्टेमेंट ऑफ प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी। इससे हमको पता चलेगा कि प्रॉफिट, अपने को प्रॉफिट कितना लेना है। सपोज अपनी कॉस्ट है 80 रुपीज एक पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट के लिए और हमने उसकी सेलिंग प्राइस 100 रुपीज रखे, तो अपनी प्रॉफिट 20 रहेगा। इसके बाद कॉस्ट कंट्रोल। अब कॉस्ट कंट्रोल करने में 4 पॉइंट है। पहले तो हमें स्टैंडर्ड डिजाइन सेट करना पड़ेगा, फिर अपन ने जो कॉस्ट इनकर करे उसको देखना पड़ेगा वो उसके हिसाब से क्या, अगर राइट रही तो वो कंटिन्यू करना है और अगर बढ़ गई तो उसे कम करने की कोशिश करना है। अगला इसका ऑब्जेक्टिव है कॉस्ट रिडक्शन। इससे क्या होगा, जो प्रोडक्ट है उसकी क्वालिटी अफेक्ट किए बिना हम उसकी कॉस्ट क्या कर सकते हैं, कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं। और छठा ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग है असिस्ट मैनेजमेंट इन डिसीजन मेकिंग। जो मैनेजमेंट रहता है, मैनेजमेंट बॉडी रहती है, उसको डिसीजन लेने में ये मदद करता है। एलिमेंट्स ऑफ कॉस्ट। अब इसमें 3 मेजर एलिमेंट्स है कॉस्ट के, मटेरियल, एम्प्लॉय और अदर एक्सपेंसेस। मटेरियल में 2 पार्ट है, एक डायरेक्ट, ओके थोड़ा खाली ऊपर ऊपर बोल देता मैं।
लेट फिनिश दिस पॉइंट फर्स्ट।
ठीक है जी। मटेरियल कॉस्ट, इसमें 2 पार्ट है, डायरेक्ट मटेरियल कॉस्ट, इनडायरेक्ट मटेरियल कॉस्ट। डायरेक्ट मटेरियल अगर सादी भाषा में बोले गए तो जो प्रोडक्ट हम बना रहे हैं उसमें जो मटेरियल दिखता है वो डायरेक्ट मटेरियल है। जैसा हम टेबल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी है तो टेबल में दिखने वाली चीजें जो हमें आंख से दिख रही है या फिर वहां अवेलेबल है, जैसा वुड हो गया, उस पर पॉलिश हो गई, ये डायरेक्ट मटेरियल है। और इनडायरेक्ट मटेरियल क्या है कि वो कंपनी में जो यूज हुआ है जैसे कि आप कंपनी रहती, वहां पे कचरा कूड़ा होता तो उसको क्लीनिंग करने के लिए क्लीनिंग मटेरियल लगता, तो ये इनडायरेक्ट मटेरियल है। एम्प्लॉय कॉस्ट में भी दो कॉस्ट है, डायरेक्ट कॉस्ट, इनडायरेक्ट एम्प्लॉय कॉस्ट। डायरेक्ट एम्प्लॉय कॉस्ट क्या है भाई, जो एग्जैक्ट जिसका काम उस प्रोडक्ट में दिखता है। जैसे आप पिछला ही एग्जांपल अपन कंटिन्यू करेंगे, अगर टेबल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी है तो जो कारपेंटर है जो टेबल बनाता है वो डायरेक्ट लेबर है, उसकी कॉस्ट जो रहेगी वो डायरेक्ट एम्प्लॉय कॉस्ट रहेगी। और इनडायरेक्ट एम्प्लॉय कॉस्ट, जो वहां पे क्लीनिंग स्टाफ है वो वहां का इनडायरेक्ट लेबर रहेगा। और इसके बाद अदर एक्सपेंसेस में आता है डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस, इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस। डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस बोले तो वो एक्सपेंसेस जो टेबल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करने के लिए डायरेक्टली लगे हैं, और टेबल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के अगर यूनिट बढ़ेंगे तो इसका भी प्राइस ये भी बढ़ेंगे, अगर वो कम होंगे तो ये भी कम होंगे, उसको डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस बोलते हैं। और इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस इसके उल्टा है कि उससे कुछ रिलेट नहीं करेंगे फाइनल प्रोडक्ट से, फाइनल प्रोडक्ट कुछ भी रहो ये एक्सपेंसेस लगने वाले हैं। और द डायरेक्ट मटेरियल, डायरेक्ट लेबर, एम्प्लॉय कॉस्ट, डायरेक्ट मटेरियल, डायरेक्ट लेबर, डायरेक्ट एम्प्लॉय कॉस्ट को डायरेक्ट लेबर कॉस्ट भी कहा जाता है। जो डायरेक्ट मटेरियल, डायरेक्ट लेबर और डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस है वो प्राइम कॉस्ट के पार्ट है, और जो इनडायरेक्ट सब है, इनडायरेक्ट मटेरियल, इनडायरेक्ट एम्प्लॉय, इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस, वो पार्ट है ओवरहेड्स के। और क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ कॉस्ट, ये ऑन द बिहेवियर है कि कॉस्ट का क्लासिफिकेशन किया गया, वेरिएबल कॉस्ट, फिक्स कॉस्ट, सेमी वेरिएबल कॉस्ट। वेरिएबल कॉस्ट बोले तो जो प्रोडक्ट के अकॉर्डिंग वेराई यानी
Shiklal, please conclude, my dear sir.
हाँ सर, हो गया इतना ही।
Okay.
और फिक्स कॉस्ट सेम रहती, प्रोडक्शन कितना भी रहो ये सेम रहेंगे। और सेमी वेरिएबल कॉस्ट में ऊपर के दोनों कॉस्ट के बिहेवियर है, सम पार्ट पे वो फिक्स रहेंगी, सम पार्ट पे चेंज होंगी। थैंक यू फॉर
Thank you and very well done, my dear sir. Thank you very much. क्योंकि आपने इंडेक्स वगैरह सब बताया कि आप क्या कवर करने वाले हो। वेरी वेल डन, थैंक यू। Yes, Swati, please continue.
So may I?
First, Swati is
After, may I? Okay, sir.
After Swati, Prachi, and then.
Sir, मेरा भी नवनीत।
Yes, sir. Gaurav.
ठीक है।
Sir, may I?
Yeah, please, Swati, please go ahead.
Sir, just a minute. Okay, sir, I'll do after Navneet then.
Okay.
Able to upload the document.
Fine.
Sir, can I start?
Yes, please go ahead. Yes, Namit, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have taken AS13 accounting for investment.
Okay, please continue.
Firstly, we will see the scope and meaning of investment. Investment is the assets held by the enterprise, from which the enterprise earns income like dividend, interest, rentals. Example, we can see debentures. From debentures, we get interest, etc. And also, investment are the assets from which we get the capital appreciation. Like on shares, the value of shares increase. So it is also an example of investment and other benefits to the investing enterprise. The non-applicability means which are the things to which this standard does not apply. So the things covered in AS9 are not related in this standard, and operating and financial leases, this standard does not apply. Retiring benefit plans and life insurance enterprises, mutual funds and venture capital funds. Now forms of investment. अब फॉर्म्स ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट में दो टाइप के इन्वेस्टमेंट है, मतलब एक ऐसा टाइप है उसमें फिजिकल एग्जिस्टेंस और दूसरा एक टाइप है उसमें देयर इज नो फिजिकल एग्जिस्टेंस, मींस it is represented by certificates and similar documents. In the second types of investment, the active market exists and in the second types of in the second type of investment, the first category is one which is in active market exist, and the another category is which in the active market does not exist. So when the active market exists, the fair value is taken of the market price, and where the active market does not exist, fair value is taken from other criteria. Investment. Sir, 1 minute. Investment property. Investment property means investment in which the land and building are not occupied by the businesses. Classification of investment. There are two types of investment: current investment and long-term investment. In the current investment, it is a type of investment in which not more than 1 year the investment are held, and long-term investment, the investment are held for more than 1 year. Cost of investment. There are two categories: one in which there is a direct purchase, and other category in which there is a exchange of shares for other securities. That means the investment are sold and again investment are purchased. This may be the case. So in direct purchase, we take acquisition charges, brokerage fees and duties, and in when the investment are exchanged for another, we take fair market value of the shares of the securities issued, or the fair market value of the securities acquired, whichever is more clearly evident. But in practical situation, generally it is not given, so we compare both the prices and then take whichever is lower. Then the carrying value of investment. There are two types: current investment and long-term investment. For the carrying value of the current investment, as per para 31, we take lower of cost and fair value, and for long-term investment, as per para 32, we take at the cost only. But in case there is a decline other than temporary, then we take the resultant reduction to the profit and loss account, and if the circumstances that have created that the investment has a permanent decline are not present now, so the reduction is also reversed. Now reclassification of investment. In reclassification means earlier we have classified current investment to long term, so now we are reclassifying from long term to current. So in this case, we will take transfer at lower of cost and carrying amount in case of long term to current, and from current to long term we will take lower of cost and fair value, whichever is lower. Now
Okay,
disposal of
time's up.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Swati, are you ready?
Sir, I'll just try to upload the document. If it works, then I'll go forward.
May I?
Just a second. Just a second.
Take out your presentation.
Okay, let me give you the numbers, please. Now, first Swati is trying. If Swati is not doing, then Prachi is there. Then Gaurav is there, right?
Okay.
So, yes. These are the three presenters, and then I'll later on give you the next list, please. Okay. So let us follow the decorum properly. Okay. Everyone is going to get a chance. Don't worry. So I would request my dear friend Navneet to please stop sharing your screen, please. Navneet. Hello.
Navneet, turn off your screen.
Navneet, are you there? Yes, please. So Swati, please try. Nurul, आपका हो गया ना presentation?
Okay, the screen is visible, I think so.
Yeah, it's visible. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, sir. मेरा हो गया presentation.
जी.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm going to explain you about what are the core banking solutions. As we now, we are quite aware of the things that 4 to 5 years ago, we used to see that our parents used to physically visit the bank and do all sort of transactions, deposits, and all withdrawals and everything. But what has happened? It has been everything automated now. So how this all things are working out, I'm going to explain you about these things. It's obviously in our syllabus, and most of us skip this chapter, so I have chosen to go for it. So what is basically a core banking solution? It is a basic set of software components that manages the services. So what do you mean by now software components? Like if a customer's data is to be stored, so we need some sort of softwares for it. In order to manage the ATM servers, we need a software. So all these components make up the core banking solutions. So what can we say? The banks which offer these CBS systems could include Finacle, then Oracle, Finven, FlexUp, banks. All these are softwares which are opted for. Now we'll further move on to the features of this core banking solution. So what it provides us with on one real-time time processing. Like as soon as the transaction is processed by the customer, directly it is posted into his account. Before years, we used to say that there had been handwritten file making and compiling and all sort of things. So it's all omitted now. It's all automated, and a big revolution has been created. So all the databases are updated simultaneously. Everything is centralized. Before, it used to happen that if I'm conducting any sort of transaction in SBI of Maharashtra, it used to be stored at its branch, not in any other. But now, due to the database management system, everything is centralized. I can go anywhere in India's part and see if my data is provided over there, and it is due to the centralized database system. What the bank mostly benefits it out of CRM activities. What are CRM activities? Customer relationship management. Obviously, we customers are benefited through what? If we get the better services. A bank can provide us better services through immediately providing us the emails and whatever the account related information, whenever deposits, whenever withdrawals, any sort of things, right? And further we get about maintaining the records of bank transactions, we already discussed. Now the most important plan, how does the bank get on working with the CBS, means how a CBS can be installed in a bank. So first of all, what we need is planning. So what the planning requires, first of all, identifying what are the bank's objectives. It is a nationalized bank or just a country specific or a state specific bank. Further, we need the approval of the top management, then selection, what type of CBS we want to conclude in a bank, then design and development and procurement of such. And the most important factor, testing, because if the bank goes on testing on the real data, it would crash everything. So it needs a dummy data, which on its a testing will be done, and further the CBS is uploaded on the real data. Then implementation, maintenance and support updation, all we are quite aware. And further one more important is audit, जिसके ऊपर अपना खर्चा पानी चलता है. So further I'll discuss about the key modules of CBS. So the key modules of CBS includes back-end office. What it does the settlement, clearance, maintenance, accounting, compliances, all such sort of activities. Now what does it mean? Like if suppose I had a transaction between two banks, so one bank is to give about the 1 crore, second about 2 crore. Obviously there will be a settlement and 1 crore will be the final amount. So these all are done at the back end. So further we know about the accounting, compliances and such things. Data warehouse. What is a data warehouse? It manages and analyzes the whole data. What is analyzing of data? When all of the customers are had an account with a particular bank, the bank is able to analyze the data, that which customer has more credit, which customer can utilize the facility of fixed deposits or utilize the loan, gold loan. We get the mail, yeah, right? We all are acquainted with this. We get the mails from the banks. Why? Because our bank accounts are with those. And if we don't get the mail, then understand that our account balances are too low. We need to increase them. And further, we go on with the ATM, internet banking, phone banking, mobile banking, and branch banking. So these are quite easy terms. We know about mobile banking. We put on through the apps and all everything. Okay, I think Sumit has turned me with time's up. So I will conclude with this. So these are all basic, big picture of the banking system. So it's not an easy chapter, but most of us skip it. So we shouldn't do that. And thank you, sir. You had actually taught us how to compile a chapter in 5 minutes. It's I learned something new.
So you learned something new. So is it possible?
Yes, it's quite possible. It's I think I would have cleared my attempt if I would have applied this strategy, but I don't know what will be the result.
Okay. And one more thing, there's a suggestion for you.
Yes.
Are you a part of Vikasa?
No.
So join Vikasa, and I would like you to go in for a national level debate competition also.
Sure, sir. I will.
So you are having the potential to win and go till the national and international level also.
Sure, sir.
So
I will
you
try.
have,
Thank
yeah,
you.
welcome, and you have that metal in you. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank
So
you
go
for
ahead.
recognizing.
Most welcome. So may I call upon the next speaker now, Prachi?
Sir?
Yes, please. Go ahead. Are you ready?
Yes, sir. So is it visible?
Just a second, it's coming. Huh? Yes. Oh, yeah, it's visible. Please go ahead.
Myself, Prachi Kharat, and the presentation is on the registration of charges. So see, what is a charge? When a movable property or immovable property is given as a security for the payment of a loan or debt, then we say the charge is created on such a property. So जो कंपनी है जिसे लोन चाहिए तो वो एक एसेट पे अपना एक चार्ज क्रिएट करती है सो दैट अगर कंपनी ने डिफॉल्ट किया रिपेमेंट में तो जो लेंडर है वो एसेट को बेचकर अपना जो पैसे है वो रिकवर कर सके. So this is a charge. Let's see the types of charges. So there are two types of charges, fixed charge and a floating charge. So let's see first fixed charge. Fixed charge is, as the name is, it is a fixed. Means this charge is created on a fixed assets, on specific assets. Means these assets are of permanent in nature, like land and building, or like a machinery. So I can say the mortgage, it's a fixed charge. And if a company wants to deal in these assets, then the consent of charge holder is required. Now let us see the floating charge, which is totally opposite of fixed charge. In the floating charge, this charge is created on those assets which are fluctuating in nature, like stock in trade, like raw material. So here, if the company wants to deal in these assets, it can deal in ordinary course of business without the consent of charge holder. This charge holder is the person in whose favor the charge is created. Let's see, one more thing about floating charge is that if a company becomes insolvent, if a company winds up its business or stops its business or makes a default in repayment, then this floating charge gets converted into fixed charge, and it is called as the crystallization of floating charge. So that's what was about the floating charge. Let's see next, duty to register the charge. It's a primary duty of a company which is creating the charge to register this charge. But if a company fails, then the charge holder may also register the charge. Again, I say the charge holder is the person on whom the charge is, in whose favor the charge is created, like a lender. Lender is a charge holder. One more case is there where the charge is registered by the purchaser, but by the company who is purchasing that the property on which asset was on which the charge was already registered. So in this case, that purchaser company has to compulsory register its compulsory register that charge with the ROC. Now, what's the time limit to register the charges? Let us see that thing. So this time limit which I'm going to tell is for those charge which are created on or after 2nd November 2018. So let's see. First of all, the charge should be registered within 30 days of creation of charge, because within 30 days, and if not, if within those 30 days, if the charge is not registered, then further 30 days are also in further 30 days you can also register the charge, means within 60 days from the date of charge creation. But in this case, the payment, the additional fees also has to be paid, and also sufficient reason has to be given. Next is, if registering means if within 60 days the charge is not registered, then you can register the charge within 120 days from the date of registration. But here the payment has to be done that ad valorem basis. Ad valorem means according to the value. And so I can say that there are only 120 days, means within 120 days you can register your charge. And if the charge is not registered, then the company has to pay the fine. And CHG1 and CHG9, these are the forms which has to be filed with the ROC, where CHG1 is for others, means for loan, and CHG9 is for the debenture. So in case of debenture, CHG9 has to be filed, and in case of others, CHG1 has to be filed. So it's so here I can conclude my topic. So thank you.
Thank you. Very well presented. Thank you very much, Prachi.
Siddhant.
Yeah, Gaurav.
Yes, sir. Siddhant.
हाँ एक मिनट
Prachi, it's a request. आप अपना screen sharing बंद करें, please. Okay, thank you.
So my name is Gaurav Gadekar. Here I am here for today. Yeah, I will explain advance tax. What is advance tax? The advance tax is the tax which we have to pay in previous year itself. See. Then who is liable to pay advance tax? Advance tax. Every person whose estimated tax liability is 10,000 or more shall have to pay advance tax in previous year itself. And the assessee who is showing presumptive income under section 44 AD and 44 ADA has also also have to pay advance tax. Who is not liable to pay advance tax? Advance tax person whose estimated tax liability is less than 10,000 and the senior citizen who is not showing PGBP income is not liable to pay advance tax. Next, dividends. As advance tax, it's is to be paid in the previous year itself. It has to be paid in 4 installments. That's the 15th day of the next quarter. That is 15 June, 15 September, 15 December, and 15 March. Next. As due date of advance tax in case in case of others and in case of presumptive incomes. Who next, Siddhant? The person showing presumptive incomes have to be paid advance tax, 100% advance tax on the 15 March itself, and the others who is not showing presumptive incomes have to be paid advance tax in 4th installment as 15 June, 15% of estimated tax, and 15 September, 45% of estimated tax on 15 December, up to 75% of estimated tax on 15 March, 100% of estimated tax. Next. As the one basic question arises is that advance tax is payable on capital gain and casual income, because the capital gain and casual income are not regular incomes, as advance tax is payable on all types of incomes including capital gain and casual income. So as this income cannot be estimated, hence when the capital gain and casual income arises, the advance tax is to be paid on the date when pending due dates, next pending due date. If there is no due dates, then it is to be paid before or on or before 31st March of assessment year. That means if any tax paid between 15 March to 31st March, it is to be said that it is advance tax and no interest shall be levied. And not non-compliance of advance tax will relate to interest under section 234B and 234C. Interest under section 234B is that if advance tax is not paid or advance tax paid is less than 90% of assessed tax, then interest is to be paid at 1% per month or part thereof on the difference tax. Difference tax, it is that assessed tax minus estimated tax that have to be paid. And under section 234C, if tax not deferred properly, then there are 2 scenarios. If the person showing presumptive income, then the advance tax is that 1% for 1 month for a difference in tax, because the presumptive income person have to pay advance tax 100% advance tax on 15 March to 31st March. Hence, 1 month of interest is levied on presumptive income persons assesses. Next. Assessee other than presumptive incomes who is not deferred advance tax properly, they have to pay interest under section 234C. That if advance tax paid for first quarter is less than 12% of assessed tax, then 1% per month of interest for 3 months. If advance tax paid is 36% less than second quarter, then they have to pay 1% per month interest for 3 months on difference in tax. And likewise, if on third quarter, if assessed tax is paid is less than 70% of assessed tax, they have to pay 1% of interest per month for 3 months.
And if on 15 March, that is last quarter, if advance tax is paid is less than 100% of assessed tax, they have to pay 1% of interest per month for 1 month. Hence, that's all, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, my dear
Sir, may I?
Just a second. It's a second. Nidhi, are you ready? Nidhi, are you ready? Just a second, my dear sir.
Yes, sir.
Please. After Nidhi, you may come.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Nidhi, make it fast.
Yes. Sir, my screen is visible?
Yes, it's visible. Please continue.
Hello, sir. Today I'm going to share a presentation on social media and its effects on youth. Here are many points which I am going to share. That what is social media, list of social media, networking site, importance of social media, uses of social media, impact of social media, advantages and disadvantages of social media. Social media is the collective of online communication channels. It dedicates to community-based input, interaction, content, sharing, and collaboration. Here are some list of social networking sites such as Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, WhatsApp, and LinkedIn. Here are some importance of social media. Social media marketing helps to validate your
One
brand.
second, Nidhi. Just a second. I'll add some time to you. I'll give you that time for which I'm disturbing you now. I'm sorry for that.
Okay.
What are all these types of mediums called as? Now you have given the example of the social media networking sites, right? What is the other term for this?
I don't understand what your question is.
Suppose you have a blog, right? If you're a blogger,
Yes.
if you have your own websites and all those things. So one type is it's your personal blog and everything. Only you can put or add things to this, right? So what are these sites over here? Like whatever network sharing sites you have told, whatever names you have taken, what are these type of networkings called as?
Networking sites.
Okay, these are called as open-ended sites where everyone can share their information.
Okay.
So whatever your blogs you're writing is a closer end because only you are writing it on it. You're writing on that particular thing. Another point. आपकी YouTube चैनल पे आप अपना ही डाल रहे हो ना, या फिर आप अपना जो ब्लॉग बनाते हो, वेबसाइट बनाते हो, आप अपना ही कंटेंट डाल रहे हो, right? So that is close end. Now what has happened? These people has provided you space, और इस पे information जो आता है वो public की ओर से आता है. So these are called as open-ended sites. Okay.
Okay.
Please continue. You'll be getting 45 seconds to additional. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. Social media marketing helps to validate your brand. A company's social media presence, when done properly, tells consumer that their brand is active and focused, thriving communication with. Here is impact of social media on health, education, and youth. There are some positive impacts and negative impacts. Such as knowledge sharing, wage connectivity, and social marketing. On educational side, it is positively impacts as enhanced learning, like with the advanced use of social media platforms, students get encouraged and motivated to learn. And distance learning, which is one of the best way to learn from reputed organization by best at any location, is what social media has made possible. And there are some negative impacts, like suffer from stress, get addicted to social media, and because of social media, people suffer from lack of sleep. If we see the educational purpose, it is negatively impact as reducing learning and research capability and causes distraction. Now we will see the advantages of social media. First is connectivity. People from anywhere can connect with anywhere regardless of the location and religion. Another is information and updates. With the help of social media, you can get the fact and true information by adding some research And third one is promotion. Whether you have an offline business or online, you can promote your business to the largest audience. Fourth one is awareness. It is the social media which has helped people discover new and innovative stuffs that is enhance personalities. Now we'll see the disadvantages of social media. And one of the major disadvantage of social media is decrease face-to-face communication. It becomes very difficult for them to communicate with people face to face. People get addicted to social media. Teenagers get involved very extensively and are eventually cut off from the society. It can also waste individuals' time that could have been utilized by procedure takes and activity. Next is frauds and scams. Scammers can hide behind phony profiles on social media. They can take over account or join a virtual community you trust to encourage your to trust them. And fourth disadvantage is security issues. By using social media, privacy is almost compromised. One of the most common and securely issued found on using social media platform is stolen the account password. Now I am concluding that as with most things in a life, there are positive and negative sides to social networking, both of which we have now explored. Though there are many negative impacts, but surely positive impact of social media will overpower the negative impact of social media if we understand the real value of social media. Thank you, sir.
Thank
to
you.
give me
Thank
an
you very much.
opportunity.
And it's a request to.
Sir, you are mute.
Okay, sorry, and thank you. The first thing I would like to say is please stick to the topics which have been already discussed or which has been said. Secondly, I have just posted the sequence on the WhatsApp group chat. You can just see that and please work accordingly. So it becomes very easy for us to maintain the decorum. Is it okay?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please maintain that. Yeah. So according to the list, who's the next speaker, please?
सर मेरा नंबर पहले हो गया था सर पहले लिस्ट में, तब मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन तैयार नहीं हो गया था, तो मैं आप कर सकता हूँ क्या?
हाँ, अभी कर दीजिए फास्ट और बाकी सब लोग फिर जो है लिस्ट के हिसाब से चलेंगे प्लीज. थैंक यू.
ठीक है सर.
Make it fast, Anirudh.
Yes, sir. सर स्क्रीन विजिबल हो रही है सर?
Yes, please go ahead.
Sir, visible screen?
Yes, it's visible. Please continue.
Sir, my today's topic is business process automation. My name is Anirudh Raut. Five following contents are business process automation. What is a business process? Examples are business process. Why should you automate business process? What is business process should you automate? Benefits using of business process automate tools. What is business process? Business process automation refers to use of technology to execute recurring tasks of process is an organized where annual effort can be replaced. It is done to minimize cost, increase efficiency and streamline process. Business process, examples of business process. Employee onboarding. Although hiring employees may seem like a process-free process, it involves multiple tasks. Filling out employee information forms, setting up induction session, arranging training sessions, setting up banks accounts, collecting relevant documents, and assigning mentors are just a few of the activities involved. Purchase orders. Purchase orders are requests a recurring process. In most organized, the recurring team fills out a form and sends it to the purchasing team. The approving authority examines the request and rejects the request. In case information inadequate or there are budgetary constraints, it is then sent back to requesting team. If approved, a purchase order is created and copies are sent to the supplier as well as the inventory them. Without automation, the following issue could crop: delay PO approval, impacted productivity, incomplete records, errors in the PO, errors while taking delivery of the suppliers. Business process automation can help improve accountability, transparency, and enable accurate data recording, which can be assessed by relevant stakeholders when necessary. It is also written all process-related communication within the workflow to make execution easier and faster. Why should automate business process? Here are some compelling reasons to automate your business process. Number one, stepping stone to digital transformation, get more clarity, streamline process, get complex records. What is a business process automate? Uh, High volume of tasks, multiple people required to execute tasks, time sensitive nature, significant impact on other process and systems. To give you your clear picture, here are some commonly automated process in organize: email and push notification, help desk support, creating customer cases studies, data arranging and migration, backup and restore, employee leave request, procurement, call center process, sales orders, time and attendance tracking, payroll, invoicing and collection. What is the business process should you automate? Business process automation is not restricted to a handful of functions. Some factors that can indicate the need for automation include high volume of tasks, multiple people required to execute tasks, time sensitive nature, significant impact other process and system, need for complex and audit roles. Best practices for a business process automation. Merely signing up for a business process automation tool may not guarantee success. You will need to take a pragmatic truth approach to automate your business process. Here are some pointers on how you can make automation a success. Start with a clear understanding of what tasks are involved, who is responsible, and when each task to be executed. Ensure that you have a clearly defined goals when you automate a business process. This will save a lot of the time in course correction. Thank you, sir.
There's a question to you, my dear friend.
Yes, sir.
In your field, how does business automation help you? What are the steps or which are the areas in which a CA can go for automation of things?
Excellent. Hello.
Yes, please.
सर मतलब
अभी आपने बिजनेस ऑटोमाइजेशन की बात की, राइट?
Yes,
तो
sir.
अगर आप अपनी प्रैक्टिस खुद करते हो तो आपके फील्ड में बिजनेस ऑटोमाइजेशन कौन सा हो सकता है और उसका क्या इम्पैक्ट हो सकता है? आई वांट दैट आंसर फ्रॉम यू।
सर जब मैं प्रैक्टिस करूंगा तो मेरे इसमें सर अलग अलग तरह के सॉफ्टवेयर होंगे सर मेरे काम को मुझे वर्कलोड कम करने के लिए। फॉर एग्जांपल
एक दो सॉफ्टवेयर्स के।
यस सर, फॉर एग्जांपल सर मुझे सर प्रैक्टिस करनी है तो मेरा वर्कलोड सबसे ज्यादा इनकम टैक्स में रहेगा, तो मैं वो काम इजी करने के लिए विनमैन जैसे सॉफ्टवेयर मतलब और विनमैन अदर क्लियर टैक्स ऐसे सॉफ्टवेयर का यूज करूंगा सर। और अकाउंटिंग के लिए मैं टैली सॉफ्टवेयर का यूज करूंगा मेंटेन द ऑल रिकॉर्ड्स ऑफ क्लाइंट्स।
ओके, सो टैली के अलावा कौन सा और सिस्टम है जो अकाउंटिंग में हेल्प करता है?
सर सैप।
इज देयर एनी अदर सिस्टम?
SAP sir, SAP.
SAP, okay, चलो ठीक है, thank you very much my dear.
Thank you sir.
Okay, now may I have the next speaker please?
Sir, may I?
As I told you, as per the sequence now, who's there in the sequence, please start. Whoever is there in the sequence now.
सर अभी स्क्रीन विजिबल नहीं हो रही ना सर मेरी?
नहीं हो रही है
सर। थैंक यू सर।
Thank you very much. Yes please.
Sir, may I?
Yes, as per the list you are there, go ahead.
Is it visible?
Yes, visible, please start.
Hello everyone, this is Riya Goel. I would like to give a presentation.
Just a second, Ria. I think so. Atharv has his screen, or Ria, you have his screen. Who's there?
Sir, I will come after the.
Okay, fine.
That's my screen.
Okay, fine. Go ahead, please.
Hello everyone, this is Ria Goel. I would like to give a presentation on tax deducted at source. So the presentation is divided into 5 parts. What is TDS, due date of TDS, TDS returns, TDS certificate, and TDS rate chart. So let us first begin with understanding what is TDS. TDS, or tax deducted at source, is income tax reduced from the money paid at the time of making specified payments, such as rent, commission, professional fees, salary, interest, etc., by the person making such payments. Usually, the person receiving income is liable to pay income tax, but the government, with the help of TDS provisions, makes sure that the income tax is deducted in advance from the payments being made by you. The recipient of income receives the net amount. After reducing TDS, the recipient will add the gross amount to his income, and the amount of TDS is adjusted against his final tax liability. Now, the next question that arises is, what is the due date for depositing the TDS to the government? The tax deducted at source must be deposited to the government by the 7th of the subsequent month. For example, TDS deducted in the month of June must be paid to the government by 7th July. However, TDS deducted in the month of March can be deposited till 30th April. For TDS deducted on rent and purchase of property, the due date is 30 days from the end of month in which TDS is deducted. Let us now see how and when to file TDS returns. Filing TDS returns is mandatory for all the persons who have deducted TDS. So the various forms prescribed and time limits are as follows. Form 24Q for TDS on salary to be filled quarterly. Form 27Q for TDS on all payments made to non-residents except salaries to be filled quarterly. Form 26QB for TDS on sale of property to be filled within 30 days from the end of month in which TDS is deducted. Form 26QC for TDS on rent within 30 days from the end of month is in which TDS is deducted. Moving forward to what is TDS certificate? Form 16, Form 16A, Form 16B, and Form 16C all are TDS certificates. TDS certificates have to be issued by a person deducting TDS to the assessee from whose income TDS was deducted while making payments. Form 16 is issued for TDS on salary payment on a yearly basis, and the due date is 31st May. Form 16A is issued for TDS on non-salary payments on a quarterly basis, and the due date is 15 days from the due date of filing return. Form 16B is issued for TDS on sale of property on every transaction, and the due date is 15 days from the due date of filing return. Form 16C is issued on TDS for TDS on rent on every transaction, and the due date is 15 days from the due date of filing return. The few TDS rates are as follows. 192A for premature withdrawal from EPF, and the threshold limit is 50,000, and TDS rate is 10% for individual and HUF. Section 194 dividends. The threshold limit is 5,000 and the TDS rate is 10%. Section 194C single contractor payment. The threshold limit is 30,000. The TDS rate for individual and HUF is 1%, and for everyone other, the TDS rate is 2%. Section 194DA life insurance policy. The threshold limit is 1 lakh and the TDS rate is 1% for all. Section 194H commission and brokerage. The threshold limit is 15,000 and TDS rate is 5% for all. Section 194IA transfer of certain immovable property other than agricultural land. The threshold limit is 50 lakhs and TDS rate is 1%. Section 194K payments of dividends by mutual funds. Threshold limit is 5,000 and the TDS rate is 10%. Section 194JB fees for professional services or royalty, etc. The threshold limit is 30,000 and the TDS rate is 10% for all. Section 194 LBA income from a business trust. There's no threshold limit. That is, TDS will be deducted on the entire amount and the TDS rate is 10%.
Section 194M, payment to commission or brokerage by individual and HUF. Threshold limit is 50 lakhs and TDS rate is 5%. Section 194O, TDS on e-commerce participants. Threshold limit is 5 lakh and TDS rate is 1% for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. May I call upon the next speaker, please?
Sir, may I?
Yes, please, Sathar.
Just a minute, sir.
Okay.
Sir, is my screen visible to you?
Yeah, it's visible. Please continue.
Hello, sir. Myself, Atharva Pandav, and my topic is accounting standard. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes, you're audible. Please continue.
Let's see about accounting standard. Objectives and agenda of accounting standard. Accounting standards are basic policy documents. Their main aim is to ensure transparency, reliability, consistency, comparability of financial statements. They do so by standardizing accounting policies and principles of a nation or economy. The International Accounting Standard Boards launched its third public consultation to seek broad public input on the strategic direction and overall balance of its future work. Accounting standards in detail. Accounting standards means the principle and policies which are to be followed by business enterprises in order to ensure the transparency in their business operations. Basically, accounting standards are issued by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, which are prescribed by the central government in consultation with and after considering the examination of National Financial Reporting Authority, that is NFRA, as per Section 133 of Companies Act 2013. There are 41 accounting standards, of which 32 are presently applicable in India. Accounting standards. We have first accounting standard, that is disclosure of accounting policy. AS1 provides the requirement of disclosure of change in accounting policy in financial statements, where the change in a policy has significant impact on profit for the period and operations of the enterprise. Accounting standard 2. AS2 provides the principles for recognition of value of inventory as on the end of the financial year. In case of inventory in form of raw material, work in progress, and finished goods. For example, raw material is valued at lower of cost or net realizable value, whereas work in progress or finished goods, their valuation is depend on cost of raw material. If raw material is expected to sold at or above cost, then finished goods is valued at its cost. And if raw material is expected to be sold below its cost, then finished goods will be valued at its replacement cost. AS3 cash flow statement. AS3 indicates the flow of cash, where the enterprise experiences the inflow and outflow of cash by way of transactions. For example, purchase of fixed assets, that is outflow, and sale of inventory, that is inflow. Next, AS4, contingencies and events occurring after balance sheet date. AS4 classifies the events occurring after balance sheet date, but before the approval of board of directors, which are required to be disclosed, and the events after the board's approval, which are not required to be disclosed. AS5, prior period items and change in accounting policy. AS5 discloses change in accounting estimates, for example, change in depreciation rate. Also, it discloses change in accounting policies, for example, change in method of depreciation. Further, AS5 discloses prior period items, as we discussed it earlier. AS10, property, plant, and equipment. As per AS10, and tangible item is to be called an property, plant, and equipment, where it is used for the period of not less than 12 months. It is used in the production and supply of agricultural produce. The cost of an item of PPE shall be recognized as an asset, where future economic benefits associated with the item will flow to the enterprise, and its cost can be reliably measured. Next, AS11, change in foreign currency. As per AS11, transaction is to be initially recorded at spot rate, that is the rate on date of transaction, and subsequently each financial item shall be recorded at closing rate on balance sheet date, that is the difference between spot rate and closing rate. Next, AS12, government grants, where the government grant which is received from government relating to specific fixed asset. Either the amount of grant shall be reduced from the cost of assets or credited to deferred income, where the grant is treated as deferred income. A grant received in relation to investment in undertakings or investment in total capital outlay, it shall be credited to capital reserve. Where the grant received to be treated as revenue in nature, it shall be credited to statement of profit and loss. Next, AS13, accounting for investment. As per AS13, short-term investments are carried at lower of cost or net realizable value, and long-term investment are carried at cost, initially at cost, and however, provision is to be made for any decline in the value of investment other than temporary decline. Next, AS16, borrowing cost. As per AS16, borrowing costs attributable to acquisition, construction, and
Atharva,
production.
time's out.
Sir, please, can I will have further time?
Oh, I can only give you 30 seconds more, please. Please make it fast.
Yes, sir. I will try to conclude. Production of qualifying asset during this construction period is to be capitalized in the cost of asset. The standard further provides that qualifying asset is an asset which takes substantial period of time to get ready for its intended use or sale. Next, AS20, earning per share. AS20 provides the information about earning per share, which can be calculated as total earnings divided by weighted average number of equity shares. That is WANS. For example, earning we have 5 lakh and weighted average number of equity shares 100. Then earning per share will be 5 lakh divided by 100. That is 5,000. Thank you, sir. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And
Sir, can I start?
Just a second. I need to give a few instructions. Should I? With your kind permission, should I give you a few instructions, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Please, sir. Please.
So whenever we are making some presentations, now we have been already allotted some time, right?
Yes.
So I very well know that you are very much curious to just complete the topic as a whole, and you need to give a lot of explanation. You're excited to give that explanation, right? But
Yes,
as per the time limit is concerned, so the number of slides you prepare and the way in which you need to explain, you have to fix both those things in the time span, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So see to that with minimum of slides, how much maximum of explanation can come up, right? So that will help you a lot, right?
Yes, yes.
So whenever the things are there, कि आपको अगर 10 minute का presentation दिया गया है, तो how to fix up things in 10 minutes, that should be the first mindset while preparing the slides and then the presentation part, right?
Yes, sir,
So
yes.
keep that in mind, please. Okay, next speaker,
Yes, sir.
please.
I'll improve myself.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. May I have the next speaker, please?
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead.
Sir, is it okay?
Yeah, it's fine. You may go ahead. It's visible.
Hey,
good.
folks, Mithil this side, and I'm going to present capital structure from financial management. So what is capital structure in common parlance? It refers to combination of different type of sources of finance. Let us say this is capital of a company. 68% is contributed by equity holders, 30% by debt, and the remaining by preference. So this is the structure of its capital. Now equity holders, they contribute amount, they become the owners, they share all the profits and losses, and in return they receive dividend. Now since the amount of dividend differs each time, there is no specific amount to be declared. That's why they have a variable cost. Now next is debentures. They are nothing but secured creditors to the company. That is, the interest is to be paid on the amount irrespective of profit or loss. Hence, they have a fixed cost. Now, what is in it for us to understand the capital structure? A optimal capital structure helps to reduce the overall cost of capital of the firm and simultaneously increase the market value of firm. Now, there are certain capital structure theories. What do we understand by capital structure theories? They are various assumptions which we apply while selecting various sources of finance. In short, they basically attempt to explain whether deployment of debt in a capital structure will be beneficial or harmful. Now, there are two schools of thought while implementing the capital structure theories. First are relevance theories and another are irrelevance theory. The relevance theory, as the name suggests, means that the debt is relevant in designing capital structure. That means if we deploy debt in our capital structure, then it will be beneficial as it will increase the market value as well as at the same time reduce the overall cost of capital. The first approach is net income approach. It states that debt capital shall be increased to any level, the overall cost of capital will come down infinitely in proportion to the debt capital employed. This is due to the leverage benefits which a firm gets at higher level of income. The next is traditional approach. It states that till a certain point of time, as we go on increasing the debt capital, the overall cost of capital will come down and simultaneously the market value will also increase. But after that certain point of time, if we start increasing the debt, then the overall cost of capital will show reverse trend and start to increase, hence decreasing our market value of firm. Now comes the approach with tax. This is the only approach which operates on the assumption of taxes. It states that a levered firm will be more beneficial, that is overall cost of capital will be less and its market value will also be maximum. This is because the interest it is paying out is eligible for tax benefit or tax shield. Now initially both levered and unlevered firms are considered equal, but as the levered firm employs debt, it gets a tax benefit, that is the tax shield gets quantified and gets added to the value of that unlevered firm, hence the value of levered firm is greater. Now the next is irrelevance theory. As the name suggests, it states that debt capital does not affect the capital structure, and hence the equity shareholders insist that the debt capital should be as low as possible, because it is their income which is going to be utilized in paying out the interest if we increase the debt capital. Now comes the approach without tax. It states that at any level of debt, the overall cost of capital is going to be remain unchanged. What is going to be increased or decreased is the cost of equity. This is because as we go on increasing more debt capital, the equity shareholders start to feel insecure because their income is going to meet the interest needs. Now net operating income approach is same as without tax. Now how to design an optimal capital structure? First is earning per share or market price per share analysis. It states that we select different capital structures with on trial and error basis. We calculate each earning per share and market price per share, and as per a requirement, whosoever's MPS or EPS will be higher, we will employ that capital structure. Let's take an example. In option 1, I can see that EPS is higher than option 2. So if I want EPS higher, then I will apply for option 1. But on the same, if we see the market price per share, then option 2 has great market price per share than first one. So I will select second option. Now the financial break-even point analysis. Financial break-even point analysis is nothing but the point at which the level of income will be equal to all financial charges. So I will wish to keep my capital structure as low with low break-even point. And the last is indifference point analysis. Indifference point refers to that level of income where between two capital structures where the earning per share will be equal. Now if I predict a higher amount of income, then I will select such capital structure which has higher amount of debt and vice versa. Thank you.
Thank you. Mithil, I have some question for you. Mithil?
Yes, sir.
Now, as per the topic which you have explained, I just wanted to know something like how do you see Mukesh Ambani's action during COVID when he made his company debt-free to what you have said? What is your opinion on that action?
Sir, Mukesh Ambani has made his company debt-free.
Yeah.
Sir,
during COVID time, he sold his stake and he made the company debt-free. So what is your view about that? What is your opinion?
Sir, I think that he follows irrelevance approach because he thinks that means if the earnings are below a point, then we should opt for debt free, because if we are only not able to meet the interest, then why should we why should we sacrifice our equity shareholders earning to debt? That's why.
Okay, so was his decision a genuine one, or it was something in a hurry he has taken it?
Sir, it might be genuine.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. May I call the next speaker, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
10 number.
Yeah, please go ahead. And if you wish to, okay, you're going through
Yes.
mobile. Fine. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
First of all, good afternoon to all of you. I'm Harshu Amure. I'm going to present the topic of Introduction to Accounting Standards. Let's we see what is the gap concept of gap. Gap, it is nothing but the generally accepted accounting principles. Generally accepted accounting principles refer to a common set of accepted accounting principles, standards and procedures, जो कि principles and standards है, procedures है, जो business के report बनाने के लिए important है, mandatory है. On the basis of that, the business organization present their financial reports. There are two types of means levels of accounting standards. At international level, we can say International Financial Reporting Standards, that is IFRS, and means at Indian level, we can say that accounting standards ASS or Indian accounting standards, that is Ind AS. Accounting standards are written policy documents. In short, we can say these are the written policy documents. At corporate level, MCA, MCA consultation with NFRA, MCA issues accounting standards for corporate entities, and ICAI issues accounting standards for non-corporate entities. So accounting standards deals with the RMPD formula, that is recognition, measurement, presentation and disclosure. Recognition of events and transactions, measurement of events and transactions, presentations of events and transactions in the business organization, and disclosure of these events and transactions. Next, let's we see what are the benefits of accounting standards, why accounting standards is essential. The first benefit, that is standardization of alternative accounting treatment. एक पर्टिकुलर अकाउंटिंग ट्रीटमेंट के लिए एक स्टैंडर्ड होना जरूरी है, क्योंकि उसमें कंफ्यूजन नहीं रहेगा, और क्लियरिटी के लिए इट इज एसेंशियल टू हैव अ पर्टिकुलर स्टैंडर्ड, certain rules and procedures. Then it is easy to present in front of society as well as stakeholders. Then next, requirement of additional disclosures. Additional disclosure means accounting standards gives or it facilitates additional disclosures also, means it helpful for the stakeholders or viewer who want to see the information of organization. They can easily understand it with the help of this. Next, comparability of financial statements. Comparison is the most important thing, that each and every organization has to do the comparison with itself as well as with the other firm also. Comparability of financial statements, we can say enterprise comparison as well as intra-enterprise comparison. Means inter-enterprise means within the organization, means the organization try to analyze the last year financial position as well as means it compares last year financial or position with the current financial position, means we can easily understand it, and if there is a lacunas, then organization has chances to improve the performance of organization. And intra-firm means the little confusion. Inter-firm means between two organizations, means organization try to analyze the financial position of organization between two firms which has the same policies, procedures and etc. Means within two organization try to analyze the financial position, strengths, weakness. Okay. And last, reduction.
Finish your point.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I told complete your point first.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And last point, that is reduction of scope of creative accounting. There is a chances of fraud in organization, means using some creative accounting or mismanipulation of accounting principles. They can do some frauds. So if there is a presence of accounting standard, then organization can reduce the creative accounting, or they can reduce the fraud also. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Intra and intra. Thoda sa intra is within and inter is
within and yes.
Okay, that's good. Okay, thank you. May I have the next speaker, please?
Yes, sir. I am sharing the screen through Unnati's laptop.
Will do.
Yes, sir.
Unnati, please help her.
Sir, is it visible?
It will be visible. It's not yet. At least on my screen, it's not coming up.
Sir, 1 second.
Yeah, please. Yes, it's visible.
Yes, sir. So my topic name. Yeah, sir. My topic name is house property. Conditions to be fulfilled for property income to be taxable under this head. The property must consist of buildings and land appertaining thereto. The assessee must be the owner of such house property. The property may be used for any purpose but should not be used by the owner for the purpose of any business or profession carried on by him, the profits of which are chargeable to tax. Cases where income from HP is exempt from tax. The first one is income from any farmhouse forming part of agricultural income. Second, annual value of any one place in the occupation of an ex-ruler. Third, income from house property of a local authority. Fourth, income from HP of an approved scientific research association. Fifth, property income of university, education institutions, etc. Property income of any registered trade union, income from house property held for charitable or religious purpose, property income of any political party, property used for own business or profession, and the last one self-occupied property of an individual or HUF. The computation income from a let out property, gross annual value, that is GAV, minus municipal tax actually paid, equals to NAV, that is net annual value, less deductions under section 24. First, standard deduction at the rate 30% of net annual value, and the second, interest on borrowed capital, leads to income from house property. Determination of gross annual value. The first step to calculate the gross annual value, which will be the maximum of municipal value or fair rent but restricted to the standard rent. However, if the actual rent received or receivable exceeds such amount, then the actual rent so received or receivable shall be the gross annual value. Municipal taxes paid. Step 2. Taxes levied by any local authority in respect of the property, that is municipal taxes to be deducted. Municipal tax levied by local authority are to be deducted from the gross annual value if the following conditions are satisfied. The municipal taxes have been borne by the owner, and this have been actually paid by during the previous year. Net annual value, the value arrived after deducting the municipal taxes, if any, may be referred to as net annual value. From such net annual value, deductions permissible under section 24A and B are allowed, and the balance is the income under the head income from house property. House which is let and was vacant during the whole or part of previous year. The conditions are the property is let out, it was vacant during the whole or part of the previous year. Owing to such vacancy, the actual rent received or receivable is less than the expected rent. In this case, the gross annual value shall be the actual rent received or receivable. Deduction from income from house property. Statutory deduction, that is standard deduction, and the other one is interest on borrowed capital. Statutory deduction. From the net annual value computed, the assessee shall be allowed a statutory deduction of a sum equal to 30% of net asset value. Interest on borrowed capital, where the property has been acquired, constructed, repaired, renewed, or constructed with borrowed capital, the amount of interest payable on such capital is allowed as deduction. The amount of interest payable yearly should be calculated separately and claimed as a deduction every year. It is immaterial whether the interest have been actually paid during the year. Interest on pre-construction period. Interest attributable to the period prior to the completion of construction. It may so happen that the money is borrowed earlier and acquisition or completion of construction takes place in any subsequent year. Meanwhile, interest becomes payable. In such case, interest paid or payable for the period prior to previous year in which the property is acquired, constructed, will be agreed and allowed in 5 successive financial years, starting from the year in which the acquisition or construction was completed. Deduction in let out property, occupied house where annual value is nil, where the property is acquired or constructed with capital borrowed on or after 1st April 1999, and such acquisition or construction is completed within 3 years of the end of the financial year in which the capital was borrowed. Actual interest payable subject to maximum of rupees 1,50,000 if relevant certificate is obtained. In any other case that is borrowed for repairs or renewal or conditions mentioned in clause A are not satisfied, actual interest payable subject to maximum of rupees 30,000. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the updates. Thank you. May I call upon the next speaker, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Before that, I would like to ask you, should we continue or you need a break also?
Break. Sir, एक break हो जाए 20-25 मिनट का.
Okay, so after this speaker who will be there, we'll be taking 20 minutes break, okay?
Okay, sir.
Fine. So may I have this next speaker, please? Who's the next speaker as per the sequence?
May I, sir?
Yeah, please.
1 second.
So by the time Unnati is setting up her screen, I'm taking the names who have already spoken. Just let me know if I've missed some name. Krishna, Sumit, Abhishek, Om, Riya, Mithil, Harshu, Gaurav. After that, Navneet, Siddhant, Kritika. Then you have Nurul, Sheikhlal, Palak, Unnati speaking at present, Soham. After that, Dhruv, Anirudh, Prachi, Radhika, Swati, Nehal, Harish Chaudhary, and Tanishi and Nidhi. ये लोगों ने बात किया. Have I missed any name?
Yes, sir. Rohit.
Rohit. Okay.
Sir, Atharva.
Rohit and Atharva. ठीक है. Rohit is done. Atharva, may I know your roll number, please?
Sir, my roll number is 39.
39. Okay, fine. ठीक है. Thank you. Rest, everyone has been named. All the speakers who have done their speeches, they're done.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So, Unnati, you may start, please.
Sir, actually, it's facing some issues. I don't know why. At my time, it was okay.
Okay, what is the problem?
Actually, on our screen, it's showing on laptop, but here it's not visible.
Okay, again, do one thing. Just go back and share the screen again. Just repeat the process.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So can you continue with some other?
Okay. May I call upon the next speaker, please?
Yes, sir. May I?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shubham, and well, I'm sorry to everyone because my PC isn't working, and I'm not able to present in PPT format.
So why are you feeling sorry? You should directly give her problems. You can
नहीं
say
sir,
I'm giving it this way, बस.
मैंने बहुत प्रिपेयर किया था उसके लिए, but वो PC वर्क नहीं कर रहा है. So I write it down अभी.
हाँ जी, हाँ जी.
Yes.
You
Today
should
I'm
always see one thing, my dear friend. You should always remember कि I'll be giving. See, आपको पता है आपके साथ क्या प्रॉब्लम है. दुनिया को पता है? नहीं तो फिर बताना नहीं, सीधा बोलना है कि मैं डायरेक्टली बात करना चाहता हूँ, मैं प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं दूंगा, बात खत्म हो गया.
Okay, sir.
चलो, go ahead.
I'm going to explain the short summary of declaration and payment of dividend. First of all, declaration and payment तो हम सबको पता ही है. So let's focus on the word dividend. Dividend का हिंदी में मीनिंग होता है लाभांश. And दो उसके आपको मतलब उसमें दो वर्ड होते हैं, लाभ एंड अंश. लाभ का मीनिंग होता है प्रॉफिट, मीन्स प्रॉफिट, एंड अंश मीन्स पार्ट. तो डिविडेंड का पूरा मतलब होता है कि तो डिविडेंड का मतलब है प्रॉफिट का पार्ट. एंड जब कंपनी को प्रॉफिट होता है तो उनके पास दो ऑप्शंस होते हैं. एक टू रीइन्वेस्ट दैट प्रॉफिट इन द कंपनीज ग्रोथ, एंड सेकेंड ऑप्शन इज सम पार्ट ऑफ दैट प्रॉफिट टू डिक्लेयर एज अ डिविडेंड to the shareholders. There are two types of dividend: interim dividend and final dividend. Interim dividends means declared and paid during the accounting year, that is before the financial finalization of accounts for the year. And final dividend is the dividend recommended by the board of directors and approved by the shareholders in AGM after the close of financial year. As per Section 123 of Companies Act 2013, declaration and payment of dividend, company shall declare or pay the dividend from the following sources out of the profits of current financial year or last financial year. Money provided by the central government and state government out of the free and out of the reserves. After the declaration of dividend, company shall transfer the funds to the separate bank account within the 5 days. Scheduled bank. Dividend are payable in cash and not in kind. Cash may also be paid by the check or dividend warrant or through any electronic mode. Prohibition on the declaration of dividend if company fails to repay the amount of deposits as per Section 74 and 75, that is the public deposits, and no dividend for the Section 8 companies. Section 8 company means formation and of companies with the charitable object. As per Section 124, unpaid dividend account, where a dividend has been declared by the company but has not been paid or unclaimed within the 30 days from the date of declaration, कंपनी को वो अनपेड डिविडेंड, वो जो अनक्लेम और अनपेड डिविडेंड जो है वो ट्रांसफर करना पड़ता है टू द अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट, दैट इज UDA within the 7 days after the expiry of said period of 30 days. Any money transferred to the unpaid dividend account which remains unpaid or unclaimed for the 7 years for the date of such transfer shall be transferred by the company along with the interest to IPF. As per Section 125, IPF मतलब ऐसा फंड होता है जो जो मतलब अपने ऑब्जेक्ट के लिए यूज किया जाता है। तो उसका ऑब्जेक्ट समझने के लिए आपने हमें कहीं और जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, उसके नाम में ही लिखा है इन्वेस्टर एजुकेशन प्रोटेक्शन फंड। दैट इज जो हमने हमारे इन्वेस्टर है उनके लिए हम क्या क्या कर सकते हैं उस फंड से, लाइक इन्वेस्टर एजुकेशन एंड प्रोटेक्शन इन्वेस्टर उनके एजुकेशन एंड प्रोटेक्शन के लिए, लाइक डोनेशन टू द गवर्नमेंट गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स एंड ऑल, मतलब वो गवर्नमेंट ही ऑर्गेनाइज करता है, तो ग्रांट देता है ये वो। एंड एज पर सेक्शन 126 राइट्स इन अबेंस, जो बात करता है अबेंस मीन्स किसी चीज को होल्ड पे रखना, मतलब राइट्स ऑफ शेयर्स जो उनको अबेंस में रखा गया है। फॉर इसको एक एग्जांपल के इससे समझते हैं अपन। डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर किया है कंपनी ने और सभी शेयर होल्डर्स को वो डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर हो गया है। इस बीच में क्या हुआ, मैं एक शेयर होल्डर हूँ, मैं एक रजिस्टर्ड शेयर होल्डर हूँ, मैंने सोचा कि मैं मेरे राइट्स और शेयर्स किसी को ट्रांसफर कर देता हूँ और मैंने उसके लिए अप्लाई कर दिया। बट इस बीच में क्या हुआ कि कंपनी ने डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर कर दिया। बट अभी ये डिस्प्यूट चल रहा है कि डिविडेंड किसको मिलेगा, मुझे मिलेगा या मैंने जिसको ट्रांसफर किया है उसको मिलेगा। तो कंपनी इस पे बोलती है कि हम मतलब ये डिस्प्यूट होने तक हम एक काम करते हैं, इसको अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट में डाल देते हैं और जब ये डिस्प्यूट क्लियर हो जाएगा तब वो डिविडेंड आपको मिल जाएगा। बट वन एक्सेप्शन इन दैट केस, अगर मैं इनफॉर्मल लेटर और एनी कंसेंट मैं अभी कंपनी को बोलता हूँ कि वो डिविडेंड आप उस जिसको मैंने ट्रांसफर किए राइट्स उसको ट्रांसफर कर दो, तो ऐसा हो सकता है। इनफॉर्मल लेटर होना चाहिए, इन कॉल ऐसा कुछ नहीं चलेगा, मैसेज वगैरह ये नहीं चलेगा। 126 इसके बारे में बोलता है। 127 इज अ पेनल्टी इफ कंपनी फेल्स टू पे द डिविडेंड इन 30 days, तो उनको पेनल्टी लगती है @ 18% पर एनम इंटरेस्ट कंपनी को, और बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स जो होता है उनको 1000 पर डे के हिसाब से पेनल्टी लगती है, प्लस मैक्सिमम 2 ईयर अप टू 2 years इम्प्रिजनमेंट होता है। ये पेनल्टी आपको तब नहीं लगेगी इन 5 exceptions। फर्स्ट इज बाय ऑपरेशन ऑफ लॉ एंड सेट ऑफ ड्यूज, दैट इज मतलब किसी शेयर होल्डर्स के कॉल्स इन अरियर्स है पहले से ही, मतलब जो कॉल्स इन अरियर्स है और शेयर होल्डर्स का डायरेक्शन हो, और if the title of dividend is disputed and situation is out of control. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very well done.